Plat Chat episode 187. What's up, everybody? Got AVRL, Jaws, Custa here to talk about UFOs. Go.
Why did you say? Why did you say it like that? It's an acronym.
UFOs.
First of all,
Okay.
it's an acronym.
New
UAPs.
UFOs. New UAP information just dropped.
Second of all, it's not even the correct acronym. We're using the wrong acronym now. It's changed.
It's UAPs.
What?
It's
We
UAPs.
changed UFOs?
Yes.
to
they
UAP.
changed UFOs.
Because
I
UFO was
can't
too
remember
commonly
the reason.
used. It was too commonly
Oh,
used, and the
yes.
government wanted to have like a different term that internally they could use. But now
Wait, what
that's
does the new one stand for?
unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Aerial phenomena. Yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
Aerial phenomena.
No,
I can't believe you can't recall this
Phenomena.
instantly, Jack. Are you even a real aliens investigator?
I guess not.
Come on.
Okay.
But,
Come on, dude.
Okay.
I
New UAP
need-
information just dropped. Shut up, Scott. There was a subcommittee meeting this morning, right? And when I say this morning, it ended half an hour ago. It was crazy. It was a crazy hour and a half. Basically, it was 3 people from like different organizations. One's retired, Mr. David Fravor, Mr. Graves, and Mr. Grush.
Yep.
Both from one's from like more of a commercial side of like aerial, like trying to make sure everything's safe in the fucking skies. And then
Very
another
interesting.
guy's from like I think he was the Air Force, or he's like very high up, and he's in physics degree, all this kind of shit. Very, very high up in terms of in the military kind of thing. But they were basically giving a hearing on UAPs and why the declassification of documents and footage and everything else should be all that kind of shit should be available to the public, basically, because it is a national security threat. And it's not even when I was watching this whole thing, I was like, bro, America's not the only country, man. This affects the whole goddamn fucking world. But and they were talking about how we need to kind of declassify this and actually show people and have the different agencies look into this stuff, because it's actually getting to the point where it's kind of dangerous. Like fighter pilots, commercial pilots, everybody, they like kind of seeing these things, but there's no official channels to actually say like, hey, by the way, saw this thing on radar, saw this thing out of my window, here's some photos of them. They are moving against any laws of physics that we are currently aware of. What the hell is this? Also just kind of reporting them to make sure it's kind of out in the public, and like, hey, we need to not crash into these goddamn
Why do the
things.
public need to know about aliens?
Well, I think
you
it's
curious?
more to do with the fact that it's very
Shouldn't
much
we know the truth?
No.
Well-
what? Absolutely not.
I think
should
it's
know the
very
truth.
much more to do
Yeah,
with the
because
fact
I'm
that
sure
it's a
people would
safety
react
thing
very
than anything.
sensibly if they were like, "Hey, we thought you guys should know aliens exist in this thing. We don't really have any evidence, but you know, we saw this
Well,
little thing."
Jack
there's
said those
plenty of
photos
evidence.
from
We don't
pilots.
have
Show me the
it. There's plenty
photos.
of evidence.
Show me the
I want
photos
to
from
see the
pilots.
video.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
see
yeah.
it. I've seen
Show me the videos.
Jack has shown me
You
the Tic Tac
motherfuckers
before.
are talking and shit. I'm trying to say stuff. I'm
find the
trying to
photos.
fucking get
I will
videos.
find the
Yeah,
from
but show
Solomon.
us graphically,
Yeah,
visually.
we need
I'm
evidence.
fucking
You
showing.
sound like
Right,
every
there
other
is a
fucking
2000
alien person I've
Shut
listened
the
to.
fuck up. There was a 2003 video. Solomon, I put it in-
20 years
From
ago.
20 years ago.
What's wrong with that?
What is? Oh
What's
my
wrong with-
god!
what's wrong with
the
it being 20
fucking
years
New
ago?
York
Oh,
Times.
we got
They
it.
are
Yeah,
hiding
this is all a
information.
bait
They are
to get you
hiding
to buy
information.
New York
Holy
Times
shit.
subscription.
Okay, fuck me. It works on mine, but rest in peace. Basically, it's a video of what they call the Tic Tac, and it's basically moving at like crazy fucking like 2 Machs. That's it. The fucking I was thinking knots.
I think it
but
goes a lot
ships.
faster than that.
Yeah, but they were saying like basically it moves at about 2 Mach, which is like way faster than what humans can actually withstand.
faster than
like
1
you'll
Mach.
you will be paced if you travel at 2 Machs, and like does these weird like and they also call it the gimbal as well, where like it does some crazy like movements in midair, which is like nothing that we could do, like any kind of spacecraft from whatever time, or like no, sorry, not spacecraft, aircraft from whatever time, even like right now, they're like, we cannot do this, and it's basically been tracked by a fighter pilot who lost all like other radar systems and was just tracking it on like their weapons tracking system, and then kind of recording that from there. It's pretty crazy. It was published published in 2020, but it was like 2003, only just got declassified. And this object has been also seen a numerous amount of times, like across the US and across the globe. And basically what the eyewitness accounts of it are, it's a gray/black cube surrounded by a translucent like sphere, or like not sphere, like a tic tac shape, you know, like a long oblong. I'm not sure what a 3D oblong is, but yeah, one of those. And the running theory is that it manipulates gravity around it, and that's how it moves, because there's not even in IR, there's no like visible means of propulsion. So like, it's a giant fuck off cube. How the hell is it moving? And
it's not that big.
The running theory is that it's manipulating gravity around it. This is why, like, this is beyond like our capabilities of like aircraft, spacecraft, or whatever. Like, we have to have propulsion. You know, like even the most top jets, they have propulsion on like IR.
Put the
but
photo
yeah,
up
it was
yet?
a really, it
I'll
was
put
a
the
really
photo in the chat.
interesting hearing. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there was a blurry ass fucking image, and the hearing was really interesting because they alluded to the fact that this happens all the time, and the government, the US government, might be in possession of actual organic material.
Oh wow! Look at that, Scott. Look
Yeah.
at that.
Oh,
That is
sold.
evidence.
I'm
Hard
sold.
evidence
Honestly,
right there.
Why didn't you
That
lead
is
with
it.
this? This is obviously
asked
an
for a
alien
photo.
spacecraft.
You asked
It's
for a
the
photo.
Chinese balloons again.
Oh god, yeah. What stops it from being another Chinese balloon? What happens if the
fact that
You
Chinese
know,
doesn't
actually,
work out,
I know
that moves
you're trying to do this for the
600 miles
podcast, but straight up intellectual dishonesty. Like,
That's true.
unbelievable amount of intellectual
Does
dishonesty.
a Chinese
coming out
balloon
from both
move
of
at
you
60
right now.
miles a minute?
Yeah,
That's a good
like,
question.
It's like actually insane what
It's
they've
funny, though.
recovered from
But
footage.
let me make this clear. I believe aliens exist as well in some capacity at some point, right? Do I believe that there is some grand conspiracy that like this Tic Tac has been flying around and they've been keeping it under their wing for the last 20 years? Like, probably not, because these things have happened so many times in the history of time that eventually get debunked. There's probably debunking for all of these situations, and until that shit comes,
Debunking's
like,
been debunked.
yeah, but
actually.
like I don't know, like until there's actually like proper proof other than this one pilot that had this one evidence, it's obviously
proper proof?
probably
It's not
classified.
You are literally ignoring my point.
There's tons of us, Scott. There's tons of us.
There are a ton of pilots, like fighter pilots, commercial pilots, and that kind of stuff, that the 3 people that I mentioned earlier were talking about in this hearing that don't come forward because they fear that they're going to lose their jobs, they're going to get fucking
Well, they do, and they're
hunted down
ignored.
by the US government.
Just
yeah, like it's
nothing happens.
and these people that were talking are like actual high-ranking officials. One's retired from US, 3-letter agencies, kind of thing. It's like how without being shown physically, here is an alien, here is a fucking alien, right? Without being shown that, like, this is the best proof that we have. This footage and
Jack, I'll
these
step in.
people giving a congressional hearing to the...
You got to sub me in, buddy.
You're on the clock
go
here,
on, go
Avril.
on.
You're on the
Gotta
clock,
sub me.
Avril. I'm just letting you know.
Really quickly, first of all, I want to establish what Scott considers evidence. Like, what would be hard evidence for you? What? Just want to define.
I would expect the government actually coming out and making a statement being like, we have this. Yes, there are people acknowledging
what?
it and people, it's not getting immediately fucking shut down and that kind of stuff, but like
Because they have
these
acknowledged stuff.
actual proper channels coming out and like speaking to it. That is
So
what would
what do you want them to acknowledge? Because they have acknowledged stuff. So what would you like them to acknowledge?
that this exists, here's their history of it, and here's their understanding of it.
So
Like,
they have acknowledged UAPs exist. Is that enough, or do you need more?
okay, but to what capacity? Like, you're literally just like not giving any of the point. Like, as I'm saying, if this actually happened, it would be enormous fucking news across all mainstream
Yes,
channels.
and like
It is pretty
this
big
is the
news.
thing. They're trying to make sure there's safe channels for these kind of people to talk about and like actual show evidence. Like this.
Well,
is the
they
problem.
needed
Like,
a whistleblower
there's
program.
So many. Yeah,
They
exactly.
just
It's like
instated a
we're in the
whistleblower program
stage.
for it because that's when the discussion happens. But
All
I'm trying to
right,
establish the
excited to
goalposts.
see where this goes then.
I'm trying to establish the goalposts. Like, where are the goalposts so I understand what I need to kick the ball through.
I just told you what they are. Like, I want them to like actively come out and like
So they've
make
done
an
that.
actual
So
statement.
they've done that.
I
So
want.
is that enough?
Sorry.
They have done that. I'm telling you,
They
they've done that.
have
So is it
done
enough?
that. Yeah, they have said.
Is that enough
there's
then?
UAP.
Am I the only one who don't trust people?
Yeah, like I don't.
I don't
like,
care about
some
whistleblower.
people
So
have
you
come out
moved
like.
the goalposts. So you just said you want them to
No,
acknowledge
we
it,
have
now you're saying
different
you don't trust them.
goalposts, Avril.
No,
We're different.
just because someone has come out, I want the fucking
Oh, you definitely
Joe
moved the goalposts.
Biden. I want my man to walk down
so it
the
has to be
fucking
the
thing,
president.
walk up to the
So it
pedestal
has
and
to
be
be the
like,
president.
"Ladies and gentlemen, we got him." And like, I want
So
to
it has to be the
like, I want to
president. Is
like,
that
that's
clear?
what I want to see. Like, and until
Like,
that happens, there's so much
so
fucking
so unless
conspiracy
it's-
shit happening.
so
You
unless
think
it's
I
the president-
trust military officials, even high-ranking ones, bro? Those people.
I just want to be
fucking
clear,
off
by the way.
grid.
Nixon lied, so not every president is trustworthy. So are
Yeah,
you sure you don't?
but
Are you
it's fine,
sure
but
you don't want to shift the
it's
goalposts more? I'm
Joe
giving you the
Biden's
opportunity to
just a
shift it again.
figurehead. He's like he's the representative of like the entire government, right? And also, it's not just about fucking America. I don't give a fuck about America. I want to see other countries also come in and collaborate and also prove the same thing. That's
Brazil
which
gave
is-
aliens to
which is
America,
pretty
so they're
fair.
part of it.
Which is pretty fair.
I wanted to be, okay, so this is not Scott's goalpost. I have a different goalpost. My goalpost is I want it to be like affect a part of my life, whereas now it's just like a nice dinner table topic. Like it doesn't
That's a good
affect
point.
politics, it doesn't affect relationships, it doesn't affect entertainment industry, aircraft industry. You know, if they seriously like
definitely
shut
affects
down,
aircraft
if they
industry.
like
Come
start
on.
shutting down flights because it's
Come
a
on.
danger to fly because these are around, then yeah, sure, like holy shit, that's a massive issue. But now it's just like people like, oh, there was some spooky object right there, and we're like, okay, cool,
Yo,
I can trust you.
I mean,
Like
the-
it does.
What
like,
happens
it
if it's a
doesn't
marketing
affect
ploy by
you
TikTok?
right now, Johnny? Like, funnily enough, Johnny, the world doesn't roll around you, and it doesn't always have to affect you. Like, it affects like humanity as a whole in like our understanding of
How?
like physics, momentum.
what do you mean how?
What do you mean how? Oh,
it
sorry.
influences-
They have we have spacecraft that can manipulate
how?
gravity around them and require no.
But you
Allegedly,
have no proof that
allegedly,
it can, you have
allegedly,
no
Jack.
proof that it can manipulate gravity
Allegedly,
around
Jack.
you. You're just assuming that off of what you saw.
Allegedly.
No,
On a
that's-
yes.
random 250p
It's not, what,
video.
it's not what we saw.
Like-
it's what the evidence that's been
shit.
presented to
If they
Congress.
start
Move on.
manipulating
I'm getting
gravity,
frustrated.
Jack, I'll be
I'm getting
impressed, but I
frustrated.
haven't
That's
seen it
here's-
yet.
So here's the end of the rabbit. So here's where the
I
haven't
rabbit hole
seen the
really goes
manipulated
down.
gravity
This
yet.
is why it's relevant, because it goes down the pathway. So the way the story is that certain private companies like Boeing, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin are actually reverse engineering these craft if we actually have them.
Okay.
And
Oh,
so-
when
If we
they've done
actually,
that,
that would be
I'll be
huge.
I'll be
If we
impressed.
find that
All
and
right.
they start trying
Hang
to
on, hang on.
All
if
right.
they can,
No,
if they
we're
can
not
start
hanging
doing
on.
commercial
People are
shit-
fed up, Avril. Last point. People are fed up.
The last point is, and this is why Echo is the meta, because
Echo is real.
no, because like, you know, if this kind of technology is reverse engineered, it will change all of humanity. It also,
agree. Yeah.
It'll also really make fucked up shit for warfare. Like you could.
Wait, yeah,
absolutely
are you
destroy
literally
everyone
talking
in the
about the
entire
plot of a
planet.
movie? What? There's a movie that has the plot of that where we discover aliens, then we reverse engineer. Isn't that fucking?
Let me just put on my tinfoil hat now.
Ton of them, probably.
There's a ton of them. Yeah, there's like I.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm ready to continue. Yeah, so it's pretty important. This is the first time it's like really gone. They had like another thing where like evidence was presented to Congress.
Cook this
now-
up just now.
But now, you know, we have I think the most legit people talking about it in front of Congress. And,
Yeah, this went way longer than I was
I'm ready
expecting.
for it.
Yeah, it did.
It's cool, man.
All right.
It's cool shit.
We gotta move on here. We gotta get to what the people actually want. We gotta get into the live up to our name and actually do talk about what people actually want to be hearing about here on the podcast. Why they're here. And that is Manscaped. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to unleash the beach beast within you.
Yes.
This summer, Manscaped is here to help you level up your beach game with their new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. They're going past waist deep in the grooming game and diving in head first to your facial hair fantasies. The Beard Hedger is a game changer, allowing you to shape your beard like a true beach babe. So this summer, let the beach balls bounce and turn all heads all over the place. Visit manscaped.com and use code PLATCHAT for 20% off and free shipping. There you go. Manscaped. Have you guys gone to the beach yet this summer?
No, bro,
It's
it is
winter.
way too
It's
hot in
winter,
LA to
so-
go to the
like-
beach.
No,
40 degrees C outside, but I will
Okay, put
find
on some
my
SPF, shave your armpits and other areas if you like to, and get on with it. 40 degrees can't hurt you, Jaws.
Well, no, okay, that's just
Right.
factually incorrect.
That's-
40 degrees
that's
can
incorrect.
40
absolutely
degrees in the
hurt.
room with you right now.
Is it?
I might die.
Yeah.
Is it? You might
Yeah, in fact,
die.
40
You might
degrees C is
die.
like
Die in 40
crazy.
degrees sun, 100%.
All right. Well, it's going to be a lot more manageable. I tell you that. If you get rid of your hair, and Manscaped can help you with that with all their amazing products. So crop preserver, crop cleanser, all this. They got the Performance Package 4.0. So you got the boxers. So you even got the boxers. I'm sure they're amazing on the beach. So there we go. Manscaped. Thank you so much, Manscaped, for sponsoring the podcast. All right. Let's actually get into it now. There wasn't a lot that happened this past week besides UFO hearings or whatever. I guess that. I wonder if aliens use Manscaped.
They're on the 5.0, not the 4.0. That's the thing. They're on a.
I
don't look like they
actually
have hair.
can't say
Doesn't look
anything
like
in
they
this
have hair.
regard because I can't make claims, for Manscaped in that regard. So I have to, watch what I say here. But I'm sure if aliens, came to Earth, they would be impressed by Manscaped products. That's my theory, and my personal theory anyway. So there you go. If they have hair, or maybe they just want some ball deodorant. I don't know. I don't know how aliens work. Anyway, moving on. So, not a lot of news this past week. So instead, I cooked up a game. When I browse before the episode each week, I browse for news, I browse for headlines, what's been on. And there was one place in particular that we're very familiar with that, had some banging posts. And I'm not talking about banging like amazing, great, but they had some controversial posts. And I just figured because we had so many posts in this one single place, which is the Overwatch subreddit, why don't we take a look at some of the most upvoted posts this past week?
Competitive or just Overwatch?
Oh, this is going to be rough.
No, just Overwatch. The regular Overwatch subreddit. Yeah. But there was a theme. There was a theme, Custa. And I saw the pattern. I saw the pattern in the post. And I was like, this is obviously like a trend. This is a trend. And so we're going to review the trend on the past week on the top upvoted posts on the Overwatch Reddit, okay? So I named it Rate the Reddit Post. And we'll just review the Reddit post. So we can start off with the first one. We can start off with the first one.
Are they all highlights? Are they all Diva 5Ks and 4Ks or what?
I can't spoil it. Well, it's in the document that is very public. So if you want to take a quick peek. Or you can just do this. Man, I missed post-game cards so much is the first one. 6 days ago, 2,700 upvotes. I miss post-game cards so much. And it's like you can upvote your cards. 25 kill streak, 5 upvoted, 10 upvoted. So what do we think, lads? What do we think?
Okay.
I think it was a fun little thing at the end of the game.
I'm just going to say it. I've not seen a post-game card in 6 years. I leave as soon as I can to queue up. Like, didn't care, didn't ask, I don't care. Like, boom, straight in the next game. I think it's cool for like casuals and stuff, though. I think it's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, I think it's like a fun little thing that you look at and people react to, and it sort of ties the game together pretty well. For me, it's another one of those things like on Fire where it's like, did we need to remove it? Like, I don't think anyone would have been upset if it literally just went into Overwatch 2 in the exact same iteration of Overwatch 1. But I also don't think it's that necessary. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You'd almost think it's like more necessary now because we have a scoreboard.
Yeah.
Like, this was the only way to like see, oh, the Diva had a good kill streak. The Rhine had so much block damage. Like, we don't even we have that now, but it's like such a glimpse. Like this seems more relevant now than it did back in Overwatch 1. Like I don't know, that it probably should come back. Also, if you want to skip it, you can. So it's not like it adds anything extra on the back end. Also, again, stats are display. Yeah, we need it back.
I don't know that we need it back, but it's just okay. I mean, this is not a good take or a bad take to me. It's just like
just a flavor.
It's just
thing,
fine, you know.
Just add it.
I
think it's another playing at the nostalgia heartstrings, you know? Like, I think I think people would enjoy that.
And if people are like, oh, it's just a casual feature, but it's like, yeah, well, primarily, like, the majority of the player base is casual. So wouldn't this feature be good for those people? Also, like, if I popped off, I would want to see if I got a card, you know? Like, if I knew I had a super good game, I like seeing, you know, how much of the match was on fire, whatever, just to feed my ego. But that's just me. All right, we got a few here, so I'm gonna move on so we don't spend too much time. This is another flavor post here, you know, to get you in the vibe for the topic. We're warming up still. We're heating up. So here we go. I'll throw up the next one here, Solomon. Who misses OG Torb? OG Torbjorn.
Man, I miss
2,500 upvotes 6 days ago.
Wait, how old are you talking?
Well, that was the problem. I didn't know how OG they meant.
Tier 3 turret, right?
I dug up this video for Solomon, and there's a YouTube video. The Torbjorn gameplay preview.
Oh, yo!
It's the old one. And so, you know, if you skip through a little bit, you can see the various abilities that play here. What is this? 20...
Dude, look at that.
2016?
Dude, look at him, dude. He's
got
upgrading
the
his turret. I do kind of miss upgrading my turret.
Yeah, but it was so bad to play against. Like it was literally like playing tier 2, walking around a corner, walking into 19 tier 3 turrets and just unable to do anything about it.
Yeah, it
as all the engineers sit with their dispensers. And I love that gameplay. Like I really do, but it doesn't mean it was fun for the people involved. Like I don't know, this feels like Yeah,
Nah, it's
I expect this
nostalgia
kind of
bait.
stuff to be on Play Overwatch.
It's straight
Play
up
Overwatch,
nostalgia bait, honestly. Like having to collect resources, like, dude, that is so like RPG-esque, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, god damn.
I'll tell you what.
I think it's cool in a way because it's like, oh, you know, you collect scrap metal from dead bodies and whatever, and then you give people armor. In essence, it's kind of sweet, but like just how fast-paced games need to be and like how the game is in 5v5, like it just doesn't make sense in the slightest to have it the old way.
This is one of the most hardcore roasting the glasses kind of takes because
Yeah.
you have to be high.
Oh,
to,
it gets
like,
worse.
because the thing is, I'm
right.
sure it does. I'm hoping it does because everyone, I guess everyone pretty much unanimously agrees that current Torb is much stronger, right? You have to because
Yeah.
the turret builds automatically.
Better for the game, no question.
Yeah.
It's better for the game, and I think it's just a stronger character. Overload as an ability just far better than throwing cookies. Like, what even is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like no level 3 turret, but I think Molten Core is like a reasonable ultimate. It's not the best ultimate, it's not the worst ultimate, but at least it doesn't require you to have a turret. Like the old Molten Core, if you didn't have a turret, it didn't even do anything. So
Remember where pop in Molten Core from Spawn? You like dies, Torb.
Yeah.
And then you get
Dude,
playing the
but the
game,
turbo
and
guys.
you're running back from spawn, and you get like 4 kills.
there's that.
Level 3 turret.
This gameplay,
think
by the way, is incredible.
The definition between like, you know, rose-tinted glasses and like missing something versus it being good for the game and not what, like I miss Torb in a way that level 3 turret was cool, but I would not change it back. There's no shot. There's absolutely no way.
The little armor packs. Oh wait,
Yeah,
they
that's
all
right. You couldn't even throw the cookies unless you collected the packs.
wait,
Yeah,
they just
well, you have to,
ulted,
like-
and there's no
yeah.
one here.
Oh,
There
you
it
know,
is.
There it is.
level
Look at it.
3.
It's got its little rockets.
Yeah.
You know what they did remove actually? You know the crit animation for old Torb was him putting one of his fists up and then he would hit the middle of it. Or was that healing turret? I remember that's a lost animation that's not in the game anymore. Is that he moves his hand up and then he hits the middle of it. You just saw it there briefly, but wow, he's getting fucking rolled, that Winston. Oh my god.
It's just amazing.
All the tank players
There
are
you go,
watching
there you
this
go.
and like cringing because of like this is what you would have had to have dealt with if it was still like this, right?
Also,
Like,
there's no right click. No right click.
yeah.
Really?
Left click. Yep.
Oh
just left
my
click.
god. Yeah, no one can actually miss this. No one of sensible mind can miss this. surely.
Remember,
Not
this
even a
12
right
had
click.
350 health. Like, this is what you guys are saying you missed. Like, he had 350 health because he has his armor packs and he had the 75
Oh, he has
shield from the
fucking
Symmetra,
shield
right?
too. Yeah.
So it's like,
It's
Wow,
man,
they're playing Sim Torb,
they're
and the
playing
game's not even
Sim-
out.
And we would
Also,
still be playing SimTorp to
The
this day if
turret's
they
not dead
existed. in the
yet.
same
I
way.
forgot about that. It just didn't fucking die. Like level 3 turret didn't
it's 500
degrade,
HP, right?
Now
Yeah,
he's
like it-
650 HP.
Oh, 650? It's even worse.
Very silly.
It's actually yikes.
Look at him throw armor packs, bro.
Amazing.
I don't
All right.
want to look at this anymore. We need.
Yeah,
I
we
want
can
to go
move
to the next
on.
one.
All
Right?
right.
This is hurting my eyeballs.
I'll clean your eyes. I'll clean your eyes. I will
Okay,
get some eye drops in
sanitizer.
here. Okay. Here comes the next one. Oh, play the game. Play the game.
Play the game, yo!
Oh god, it's the
Oh,
follow.
the turret is the turret.
It's exactly what we said it was gonna be.
It's an animation. It's a really funny animation.
Body
like
falls
Carbot.
off
I think
the map.
Carbot did an animation one of these.
Also, that was also during the time where we didn't have a kill feed.
Oh yeah.
Imagine playing Overwatch these days without a kill feed.
Oh my god. Wow. All right. Moving on
Do
to
you
the next
guys
one.
remember the time when they added a kill feed and Kefri still didn't use it because it had to be something that you could toggle on or off, and Kefri said that he didn't want to use because it distracted him from the game.
You're just not
That-
looking
that
at
is
it. Like,
one of
What
the dumbest
shots he
ignore it.
fucking hitting? That is distracting.
Wasn't it
from
the
game.
wrong way around, or is it? No, wait. They
Holy.
fixed the. It was people complained because it was different order from Team Fortress 2, right?
yes. Yeah.
Because
It
then they
still is today.
reversed
No,
it.
I'm pretty sure it still is. Is it not?
Yeah. But they made it better, right?
It's different. It's different to Counter Strike and Team Fortress in the order it shows up. So I found that annoying as well, personally.
All right. Well, it's over now. All right. Moving on to the next one. This one's a bit easier. I missed 2 CP. I'm being serious.
It's a common
Wait,
take.
how many upvotes is that? It's
It's a very common take.
kind of blurry for me, so I can't read
1.9K.
it. 1.9? Okay. Sure, getting Volskaya 2 to 3 times in 5 games was annoying, but they were fun and they were good maps. Who cares if it's bad for Pro League? Immediately just brains Pro League. Just
Pro League. Wait,
who cares if it was bad for
Take at the
Pro
bottom
League?
is good.
The top
That
comment,
take at
by
the
the way,
bottom is
it
actually
wasn't.
good.
It
Yeah.
wasn't that it was bad for Pro League. Quite the opposite. So people immediately just disagree in the top comment. Plus, the game's different now. Maybe even Paris could work. Temple of Anubis was my favorite map. Overwatch 2 is a completely different game. There's no reason why it wouldn't be better. Edit.
Okay.
It seems most people want it back. Petition Blizzard. Also, every 2CP map is better than that new ice map, 3-lane COD map wannabe, and Blizzard know it, which is why I don't see it often.
Ice
Double
map?
also pushes worse.
Antarctica.
Antarctic Peninsula. It
Oh.
technically does have 3 lanes if you think about it, especially labs. Also, the most AI generated Reddit post of all time. Like, actually gets that award. That was so AI. 2CP in Pro League, you know, was kind of good, but I think,
In Pro League, they ruined it.
I think oh my god, he actually hit that shot.
That comment was
In concept,
better than the actual-
game mode sucked in solo queue and shit. It sucked.
yeah, it's fine and competitive, not good in pub play.
The stall!
So
God, that game
I
is
actually
so goated.
I missed this from an Overwatch League perspective. I think this was this
Yeah, there
this
was
game
some-
mode delivered some really good Overwatch League matches in my opinion.
Yeah, because
But it
like
wasn't good for the game.
the big moments are like more impactful because like literally you only need to win one fight, but you need to like win it cleanly. So it like it adds a depth of strategy to it, but it doesn't mean it's like good for the game. And yeah, as you guys said,
Yep.
my biggest complaint with 2CP wasn't watching it in and out. It was when I had to play it myself and just like, man, the number of like full holds or your teams that just like threw or one player on your team threw, like that's what made 2CP bad. That like insignificant events literally can just dictate the entire game. And then you have to play this fucking map for like 30 minutes because it always goes to like 4-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the one game mode that for some reason would have like insanely, not for some reason, it had insanely high score lines in terms of just repeating the map over and over and over and time bank, because first of all, the time bank used to be massive. They had to reduce it for this map, for these game modes.
Yeah.
But the snowball factor was the other issue, because it was either like really one-sided games that you can't attack at all, or really one-sided games you just steamroll the defense.
I'm very nostalgic about certain points of these maps, but it's honestly just like about the map design. Like it's about, you know, the look of the map and the place of the map. It has nothing tied to like the assault game mode itself, because that was like universally like pretty bad. Like it felt garbage to queue into an assault map. Like the amount of times I got Temple of Anubis at like 11:30 p.m. and I was like, I'm going to go to bed mad. Like this game mode is just sucks. But there were tons of good moments, and honestly, it was kind of fun sometimes to orchestrate attacks. But like 90% of the time, it was just a garbage game mode. But if they brought the maps back, which I think they've claimed they will bring the maps back in some kind of capacity, that would be, you know, that would hit the nostalgia. That would, you know, be worth it. So
I think the game mode, kind of like you said, but it's just flawed, like straight up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's any way to kind of fix the spawns and fix the timings of spawns.
You
to
just
make
shove
it
the spawns
so
up, no?
You
Just change locations.
well, like it's such a weird balancing act as well.
But
because
like, how do you
even
do that
think
with the
of-
design of a map? Like, you can't just make it 20% bigger or 20%.
Yeah,
no, well,
also
no,
think
you
of
do-
how many
you
characters
just-
you have, movement abilities now, and like a good example of this actually is any hybrid map, or well, you could say escort 2 in a certain to a certain extent, but hybrid maybe a little bit more so because it's got a mixture of the both. Like picks like Kiriko that can just fucking teleport through walls. Like a lot of people have movement abilities now, which makes it easier to get back to the point. So like the stall factor is fucking ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I feel like the game mode itself is just kind of flawed. It's very much rose tinted glasses, but that's what every gamer does that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these posts, just as a meta, I'm going to make a meta point, Johnny, a meta point.
Yo, meta.
A lot of these posts are like fairly reasonable when it's like, okay, how did I feel when I played the game in 2016, maybe 2017, 2018 or whatever, whenever I started playing, when I played these maps? If it was pretty nice and like fresh experience, etc., etc. And like you always look fondly back on the days of like 2CP games. Yeah, we rolled this team. It was great. But a lot of the time you'll just kind of forget the negative experiences, or maybe you'll keep the most positive, the most negative experiences. But a lot of the time it's like, well, no, actually it was kind of fun. Like I think about like old Halo, for example. And like, man, Halo 3 was great. And like Halo 3 is one of the best games of all time, in my opinion. But holy shit, the netcode was bad. Like the netcode in that game was terrible. Like the amount of times you queue it, like as a European server moment, when you queue in randomly to Americans and you're just getting meat shots all the time and you're just getting shots that don't register and you're like, this game fucking sucks online. When you played it on LAN, on the other hand, very different experience. But like a lot of the time, and like any other game too, old Battlefields, I have a very fond memory of like 2142, etc. And like when only one gun was viable, like, you know, it's a lot of the time it's just, well, I was happier back then, you know what I mean? And now I have to deal with existential dread of like life catching up to me. So, you know, I do understand
we all?
like TCB and like old Torb and all this old stuff, but nah, it's as games evolve, as people evolve, like things do generally get better. And like, I think we've seen that with Overwatch and like a lot of other games do.
Oh, an optimist.
This game mode was fixable. I think this game mode was fixable. I think you can adjust the spawns. It'd take a lot of work because you do actually have to change the layout of the map, maybe. But I think if you looked at the respawn distance and what the run back is, and you adjust that to be roughly equal, maybe still slightly geared towards attacker favored by like 20% maybe, I think it'd be much more fair to play. I think just the fact that to even defend A point, you spawn all the way at the back of B, that's crazy. So just the differences in spawns is wild.
I mean, another thing, like regardless of spawn points, like there was so much downtime on these maps where it's just like new round, go back to the point, new round, go back to the point. We're like push. The reason why I love push, I'm not saying that like push is fair. The maps are obviously like unbalanced at times and like the first fight winner or whatever. I'm not saying they're balanced, but what I do like about push is that it's 10 minutes just gameplay. There's no breaks. There's no resetting of like, rounds or anything like that. And so I think that's great for the game. And, Joss?
I do want to, from like a game design standpoint as well, I think it's kind of interesting to look at how the maps have evolved going into Overwatch 2 and also how new maps are being developed for things like Escort. Everybody hates Savannah, like don't get me wrong, that map is terrible. But like you look at things like Circuit Royale, like any of the newer maps, Escort or Hybrid, those final points, they do try to make them as hard as possible to, one, keep the game short. So like, if it's a loss, you go into the next one. If it's a win, yay, and then you go into the next one. You don't want to have it like we had the other day, in fact, where you are playing Escort for half an hour. A half-an-hour game of Escort on circuit, one of the most defender-favored third points in the game. That was just a massive fumbling from like both teams on third. But like, I think the idea from like a game design standpoint is to make those last points not unassailable, but very hard to complete with time. Because think about how many times we go into an Escort map or like a Hybrid map, and we're like, well, more so Escort than Hybrid, but like, and we're like, wow, they finished with time. They finished with a minute. That's crazy. Like, oh my God, they finished with an extra 30 seconds. Like, that's insane. Like, you don't want to have it any more than that. And like 2CP was very much a symptom of that. Wow, we finished with 4 minutes, guys. Holy shit. Like, can't wait to play this round again. Like it just felt bad from a game design standpoint too, where you're like locking these players into this game, which is also, here's a sub-level point to this point, is it actually keeps matchmaking better, especially at the higher end and technically at the lower end too, where there's also like a drought of players like in Bronze 5, and top 500. If you have players stuck in a server going 6-6 on Circuit Royale, those players aren't available to then circle back into matchmaking and also then filter in with players that have been queuing for like 15 minutes, all these kind of like small things do help each other in some kind of weird ways. And like, ideally, Escort maps, you don't finish more than twice. Like, you just don't. There's miracles where it does happen, like we saw in the Overwatch League. But yeah, that's why I don't think 2CP was much of a good game mode in that regard either. Because Voskai Industries 8-8 going to next round. Fuck that, dude.
What's next?
Next, it just gets better and better. I actually miss the loot boxes.
I've seen this a lot.
4,500 upvotes. 4,500 upvotes. There are many games that I hated seeing loot boxes in.
They don't miss loot boxes. They miss free shit. That's what it actually says. So cross out the loot boxes. You don't miss loot boxes. You miss free shit. That's actually. We should just tell the truth. Why don't people just stop lying and tell the truth? Because that's what they actually miss.
People would not miss loot boxes if they had to pay for them.
Yeah, agreed. If loot boxes weren't attainable by level ups, and they were only available in the store, it would be worse than the system we have right now, because you can't unlock the skins that you want to unlock.
There you go. That's an accurate title.
Obviously buying. Yeah.
There you go. What's this?
He's opening
is
loot
this?
boxes
That-
by
yeah,
just
that's
putting
what
their
I did
phone
with
on
my
the
loot
holding
spacebar.
on the space bar.
I didn't
right,
do it
yeah.
for 200. I would literally, my chat always wanted me to open them. So what I would do is every time I took a break and was like going to the bathroom, I would just open my loot boxes, put my phone on my keyboard, and I would walk away for like 2 minutes, then come back, and they're like, "Oh my god, you opened loot boxes!" I'm like, "Did I get anything interesting?" They're like, "Nope, all duplicates." And it's like, yeah,
Okay,
that's
great.
how it goes for most people.
I remember seeing
Whoa!
XQC's. I remember seeing XQC's account one time, and it had like
Thousands.
1,500 loot boxes or something. I vowed never to open a loot box on one of my accounts just to see how far I could get the number. And obviously, when it transitioned to Overwatch 2, it was like, yeah, so we opened 500 loot boxes. Here's the coins. I was like, okay, great.
Lit.
This was a very edited video. That's my bad, Solomon. I just found some YouTuber who opened loot boxes, and it did not because it's boring.
Can I?
yes, that is
do
the
a
meta point.
Flaming take here. Oh, this is the take that people hate me for. I'm ready for it. Send me straight to hell. Oh, this one's people want to dislike this one.
Hey, wait, can I take bets on if it's actually a hot take or not?
Well, what's your criteria though? I don't know. Like
over.
you might. It depends on what you think a hot take is. I just know that the public won't like what I'm about to say.
Okay, that's a sure.
That's just my standard for what's hot. If the general public does dislike it, then it should be hot. That's my position. But I'm gonna be a corporate shill and say that I think Overwatch 1 was too generous in how much free shit they gave out.
Oh, it was
I do
absolutely
think that.
was.
Way too generous.
I think I agree. Yeah.
Yep.
Especially
So you
with the
guys
amount
agree.
of loot
You guys
boxes that
agree,
you
but
got.
I'm ready because because again, the reason I say it's hot because last time I corporate shilled was about the whole free to play battle pass discussion, and people hated they like fucking really disliked this, and I'm like kind of repeating similar sentiment here, where it's just like the fact that it was too generous meant that it was difficult to monetize Overwatch 1 long term, which is why I think that partially the whole Overwatch 2 thing happened, because if you can't monetize Overwatch 1 long term, then obviously big old Activision is going to start knocking on your door and asking questions about why this game isn't making money anymore.
Well, why would they make skins if people aren't paying money to get them?
And that's the other thing.
And that becomes
Games not being paid for.
the crux of the issue. And it's like, we're in that transition period, and I think Overwatch is one of the games that got hit the hardest by it. Of the model in the past used to be you paid lump sum up front, then they would keep releasing content for you for a certain amount of time, right? And that Overwatch kind of did that. They kind of stopped short a little bit earlier. But now these days, games don't make you usually pay up front. They make you pay for battle passes or like pay for the skins, but you don't pay an upfront cost. And then that creates the content loop, right? Of like they make content and then they make money, which justifies them making content.
Yeah, well, people wanted free content. They're like, why aren't we getting more
Because
free
they pay for
updates?
the box, right? That's why people are upset.
But the problem is, in what world, like, even if people keep like old gaming, like it didn't used to be like this old days. Yeah, you want to talk about old gaming. Old gaming was you paid $60 for a box, and if you were lucky, you got a fucking patch. There were no patches. Are you joking? There's no content. If you want to get content, it's called an expansion pack, and you bought it. StarCraft Brood War, Warcraft 3, Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne. You had to buy that shit. None of that shit was free. Content wasn't free. It's never been free.
I think one of the reasons why people had that take was because Overwatch 1 in 2016 came out at like the turning point of free to play with microtransactions, battle passes, etc., and also like boxed games where it was like, oh, you buy the game, it comes with the game and all the missions and the multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like that Overwatch came out at like the worst possible time, like when it comes to transitioning with models and shit. If Overwatch 1 came out and it was free to play and we had a battle pass and we had all this other shit, obviously we wouldn't have this kind of conversation now where like, oh, fuck Overwatch and shit. Like, I'm not paying for skins. Like, we just, like, Overwatch in general just came out at the wrong time for that model. Like, and that's why people feel that way today.
You want another take? Oh, this one's going to set the internet on fire. The $15 PvE, 20 years ago, that would have just been a normal expansion pack. And in my opinion, that's not a dissimilar amount of content that you would have gotten in a regular expansion pack.
No, disagree, because we don't know what's in it, and from what we've heard, it's like three missions. Like, so three missions is not what we would get. Like, let's go back to your previous thing.
An hour and a half of content. 1 hour and a half content.
No, well, I disagree, because you said StarCraft 2, like Brood War and those kind of things. When those expansions came out, there was a long part of a campaign that would follow through that would be many hours worth of content.
Okay. Depends on the game. But you would also argue that the ability to make that content versus the ability to make the same little content now is very different. Like,
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
were to-
I-
if
like,
you were to
as I
put
said, I agree
a
with
team of
your- the
devs to
crux of
make
your
Brood
point.
War versus make the 3 story missions. These 3 story missions take considerably longer and more difficult to make than Brood War. That's the truth as well.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, the bar for like gaming and the bar for like making games graphically and that kind of stuff, and like how much it costs to make games is higher than it used to be. That is for sure. But I do half agree with Custer's point. Like, we don't really know how well, we've had some media outlets say, oh, it comes with these, and we spent this long playing it. Maybe you could spend this many hours playing the content. You know what I mean? So, is it worth the $15? Not
Well, 15 is with the battle
100%
pass as well, right? So it's like
That's true,
yeah.
they're
It's 15 with the
essentially
battle pass.
incentivizing you to buy the battle pass, and then
Right.
that extra content costs you $5.
Yeah.
which is a whole separate point, which we'll probably touch on at another time. We should probably move on, but
I'm just trying to make people angry, and
hopefully
it's
they-
working.
Yeah.
Is
Not
it?
you guys. Not you guys. It's everyone else.
well, the thing is, both sides of this coin are never going to agree, because some people just want the stuff, like they hate the live service model. Some people really like the live service model, because some people get really frustrated that there are things coming out that they can't acquire unless they pay money. And I understand the frustration with that. But on my side and the AVRL side is that by having this kind of store in these systems, it incentivizes the developers to make content. So it's like, there's positives and negatives of both sides. Yeah, capitalism sucks, but like we've beaten this to a
I just don't like it when people have this
over the
level of
last
hypocrisy and entitlement that says, I will not pay for anything. Also, please give me free content.
Yeah, I
It doesn't,
mean, we
I'm
also
sorry, it
live
just
in a
doesn't
world
come for
where
free.
you require 0 IQ to use a keyboard and mouse and go on the internet and spout shit. Like, we live
It's-
in a world
it's
where
just-
people,
it's just-
anybody can just make
It's the
stuff.
same people who never paid for a loot box and bragged about look, I have 2,000 loot boxes, never paid for a single loot box in my life. Oh, why did Blizzard stop giving me free content?
never gonna win
Why
with
do you
these
think,
people.
motherfucker? Because you never paid for it, bitch. That's why you don't get any free content.
Someone
There's the
clip
clip.
that.
There's the
Someone
clip.
that. Someone clip that real quick. that's a Plat Chat highlight right there. Put it in the yearly review.
Why do people
Indeed.
think that? Why are people just entitled to free? It doesn't make sense. Should the devs work for free? Makes no fucking sense. People don't have brains.
Yeah, it's also like a community that is kind of torn. I mean, going through a lot of like massive changes, because the fact of the matter is, I bet like a large majority of the current player base actually did buy the original, Overwatch 1 box or whatever. I can't even remember how much price it was. So they have that, still have that like sense of entitlement, like, oh, I bought this game and now they're asking me for more money or whatever. Like, but I think in a few years, also goes for the same with PvE. Like, a lot of people who think of PvE are just like, oh, my talent system is gone. They're, messed up the PvE system and everything. And so like, there's nothing but disagreement and, disappointment in that regard. But, the goal is for like in 2 to 3 years, at that point, like, people will be accepting and see, and the changes have gone through, and they've mentalized
get
all the
there.
changes and all that stuff. So
Don't worry. At least we're not Star Citizen. I'm just saying. Like, I can't wait to use my $1,500 spaceship in a game that doesn't currently work properly. Yeah, I can't fucking wait, bro. Like, holy. Frontier?
the Overwatch dev team just gotta keep doing its thing, because it feels like, I don't know, I feel like I can't speak these days because everyone just says it's cope, but they just gotta keep doing their thing and just keep chugging out content and try to make good decisions, and hopefully at the end of the day, in a few years, like, the game will still be alive and people will still like what's coming out and like the content and all that, and that's what we gotta hope for that.
Still got as many players as Valorant, apparently, so you got to look forward to. You got that
Apparently,
thumbs up.
allegedly.
Apparently.
All right. Well, if the game is supposed to be, better down the line, there are a few changes you could make, though, some suggestions. So we're getting to the tail end of this Rate the Reddit post segment, but we'll bring up this next one. I'm sure Jaws will pop off. Admit this new rank system is a downgrade. Get rid of rank updates and revert to showing SR. You try to make quote-unquote new game seem quote-unquote new, and you change things that didn't need changing. The rank system is just one example of this. It was completely fine the way it was. The way I know even Blizzard is aware that the old rank system is better is that they have already made 3 changes to this new one in the name of transparency. The first one is displaying win-loss ratio in the competitive progress screen in a very tiny text, mind you. The second change is telling you the percentage of players you are ranked above in your division. From that information, you can get very close to knowing your exact SR using basic math. So I don't understand the point of hiding it behind a percentage. The third change is showing you your win-loss ratio at all times through a tab on the Q select screen. All the players I know have been welcoming of these changes, and next to none of the players who have played Overwatch 1 prefer this system over the old one. If you're part of the 0.01% of players of the... Oh, well, you get the point.
Right. Okay. This is actually a good take, because fundamentally,
300
If you
upvotes. I'm sorry, Joss. 300.
if you... That's fine. if you look at just visibly, like the old ranked system was far and superior to the new ranked system. The underlying systems in Overwatch 2 are better than Overwatch 1 just because of like iteration and just like how matchmaking gets better and better every single, like ideally it does get better and better every single year, but like sometimes it doesn't. We all know the fucking like team queue situation, but like visibly, yes, the old rank system was infinitely better. Like I don't really understand this. Well, actually I do because of player psychology, but like the obfuscation of your rank comparatively to other people, which they try to solve with like, oh, this lobby is GM1, this lobby is gold 3, you know, giving you an average. The obfuscation is to help a lot of people that don't like queuing for a ranked game mode get in there and not feel pressured to do well. Or like not feel pressure and like, oh fuck, oh god, I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna fucking lose, man, I'm gonna lose my rank. Like, and that's also to do with like the percentage. Oh, you are this percentage through Plat 5, like you're higher than 80% of people, which is gonna give you a good indication of like, oh, I'm gonna rank up soon. We should 100% have the old SR system back. It literally makes no sense on the surface of things. And I think it's the devs kind of like outplaying themselves in a way and going, we need to keep user retention high in, or like higher than maybe it is right now in ranked. So we're just going to obfuscate things so like people don't feel that bad about like when they're queuing in. And like for another good example is like removing the ranked from your little portrait in the bottom left. So when you load into a game, you're like, oh my god, I was diamond like 5 minutes ago and now I'm plat again. You know, that feels kind of bad, and it generally does. Like, and people will say it doesn't feel that bad, you know, I'm improving, whatever. Like, but you're probably not the average player. Like in general, I think it's to hold retention on players in ranked and just keep them playing the game. Because if they see their number go up and down like so repeatedly, like, oh, I've gone up, and then you lose 3 and then you keep going down, you're going to stop playing 100%. So I think it's all to do with like retention and actually just keeping people queuing up and queuing up and queuing up and queuing up and queuing up. But the old system, there was nothing wrong with it, like visibly at all. Like having an exact number of like where you stand, especially at the high ranks, like my god. Like, I don't know where the hell I am in GM1 at the moment. I was top 500 like 3 days ago. I'm GM1 again now. I'm like, okay, how many games do I need to win again to get back to top 500? It just doesn't make sense at all. Like, the only reason I could think of is the retention idea. So actual decent take from Reddit, from like our Overwatch Reddit. Good take.
Jules is the resident ranked goblin here, so I just agree with what he says here. But also, I don't think the rank system should allow somebody to like basically never decay their rank and hog the all 1 through 10 top 10 spots in the EU rank ladder like Izan does. That's kind of cringe. So
there's nothing stopping someone from doing that though, because your accounts aren't, well, yes, it would, but
let's add back decay. People love decay.
If you play within a week and get all your accounts around the same kind of rank, decay isn't going to set in for, you know, I don't know what the decay rank or the decay.
So is there
rate
any way
right
to stop people from just camping spots then, or is that just not an issue?
No, people do it in League of Legends all the time as well, like other games and shit too. Like,
I just think it's lame, but whatever.
It is lame, yeah. That is fucking lame. Like it's a
It's ridiculous. Is what it is.
Yeah,
see,
maybe
like,
it's not lame. It's just
so
ridiculous.
Stupid. Like,
yeah, like it is ridiculous that someone could do that. Just shows you like the power level of European solo queue though, because if Yazan was on an A, or not solo queue, because I think they would duo queue the entire time, but I think in NA this probably wouldn't happen because the amount of Overwatch League players that are currently playing on ladder, like it just shows you kind of how like weak the EU region is because Overwatch League basically, and all the good players playing on North American and Korean ladder, to be fair as well. But like decay's an interesting one. I think that's another really touchy subject, especially for players that aren't nearer the higher end, because you need decay
just decay
at the
for
higher
GM.
end.
Just decay for GM.
100%. You also need an individual number back for GM Plus, but that ain't gonna fucking happen.
Didn't they used to have that? Am I crazy? They used to have that decay only for
they did,
GM Plus.
Yeah,
They dropped you to 3,900.
Yeah, decay. This is what should happen. Like, you should decay back down to Masters 1, regardless of like what rank you are. GM 5 plus kind of thing. That always happened in Overwatch 1. You
but they're not
going to
change a hidden MMR, so why does that change anything?
Yeah, exactly. So like the
idea
idea
doesn't
is,
change anything. It just comes down to who plays more. Like that.
Yes.
Then that becomes the idea. And like then if you make it go up too slowly, then it doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden you run into the issue that the developers have had, where all of a sudden, oh my god, I have a Masters 1 player on my team, and it's like, no, you actually have a GM1 player or a top 500, they're just playing on an alt account that they've been smurfing on or something like that. Like, so that it just like blurs the lines, which makes people more frustrated. Like, we've talked this situation to death like a million times.
Yeah.
I don't agree with what Jack said. Like, I think that we've gone through this a million times, and I think Jack is biased because I agree with Jack.
Yeah, fuck you, Jack.
From my perspective, but the reason they made these change to hide a lot of the details is to get more casual people to want to play ranked because it doesn't feel as stressful. And we can't speak to that because that is literally not why we're here. And probably anyone in this podcast or listening to this podcast also isn't in that place because we are competitively orientated people. I think there are going to be some people, and there's going to be multiple people on either side once again. And I think the developers are never going to please everyone.
So, newsflash to everybody out there. Matchmaking, impossible to balance. Literally impossible. We saw it with Team Q recently. It's a very good example of like people jumping in as a higher rated 5-stack and their queues are ridiculous. Who's surprised? Because you have to wait for another queue to also be ridiculous in like ranking. If you're 5 GM1 players queuing up, you will sit in queue forever because it is going to try and queue up with around average the same kind of SR. Like, otherwise, you're just going to clown on a bunch of golds and it's going to, boost your little rank up. Like, matchmaking is just an impossible feat to actually balance, and it's never going to be right. Just small iterations over the course of years. That's the only way it's going to feel better, like, in general. And Scott is right too. Like, especially with the new ranking system, it's like there have been people, and I've seen this on the comp Overwatch Reddit as well. People complain like, "Oh, the ranking system's so dumb. I went straight to GM1 after 10 games. What's your original rank on your main account? Oh, I'm a GM1 top 500 player. So the matchmaking's actually is working completely fine. Like, matchmaking in general is never going to be a fixable issue for anybody, like, regardless of rank. I do half disagree with you, Scott, because I do think there could be a difference in the way matchmaking displays things the higher up you go. I think in GM5 plus, if you're hitting that level as a person, you should be shown like a rank or like a number or something like that.
We've talked about this back and forth, Jack. Like, I agree. Like, at the highest ranks, like, they should just like take all the training weights off, take all the safety nets off, and just like give it to you straight. On top of that, I think an even more important thing is a lot of this could be solved where we don't have to appease the casuals as much if they just added an unrated mode, got rid of quick play, makes it so that you have an unrated mode where you play both halves, where there is no rank system, but it feels like you're playing like the proper Overwatch and how it's supposed to be played, and then have a proper rank system where you can take those safety net off.
That should be the default game mode.
And they did that in beta too, didn't they?
They did do it in they did it in beta so that they could test everything. So it's like
they should have kept it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is a big problem, is that people don't want to play quick play, but they don't want to play ranked. So it's like, and then the people who want to play, like, some people don't always just want to like have a ranked system. They just want to play the proper Overwatch mode. And I think that's what they need to get back to. Like, and they need to fix that so then they can fix ranked. But right now they're trying to appease 2 people in a ranked system where the variance of what they want from ranked is very different.
All right, I'm going to we have one final post here, but it's really just like everything all at once here. So, we don't need to spend too much time on it anyway.
Diva 5K finally.
Yeah, this is Diva 5K. I actually don't have any Diva 5Ks. I'm sorry to disappoint in that regard. But this was a dumb, silly segment, but I think it was pretty fun anyway. Just chat about the old things. So the last one, 4,100 votes. There you go. Opinion. I genuinely think that giving us most of the core features from Overwatch 1 back would drastically improve player engagement on Steam. And I mean, I'm not even gonna read the entire thing, but it's bullet pointed like bring back player levels, give us something that we can use it to progress, stop locking new heroes in the battle pass, you're putting the core content behind a paywall, bring back 6 versus
close it out.
Bring back 6 versus 6, keeping the new reworks and balance philosophy. Bring back original endorsement system. Guys, are you losing it yet? How's the mental? Let's check out some of the comments. Let's check out some of the comments.
Sorry, what is bring back original Overwatch 1 feel? What does that even mean? The feel? What?
It's the same engine.
The vibes
it's
back.
Exactly the same
the vibe.
engine.
They want 6 versus 6 and Overwatch 1 skins and loot boxes. And let's check out the comments. Let's see if there's any reasonable comments in this one. 4,100.
4.1k.
I don't think they're wondering why they're doing it at all. Whale still buying every dumb skin for $26. Next one. Give it up. Kaplan is gone. The franchise. Wait, I accidentally clicked off the comments. I'm reading the next one here, Solomon. The franchise is going to be ran into the ground by corporate suits. Why even care anymore? Let's go third one. Custa's like considering quitting the podcast at this point.
Bro, let's get on to the Overwatch League. I'm sold. We've been doing this over the last year, just talking about Overwatch and people just complaining about the game. I straight up just don't care. Like, if you don't like the game, don't play it. Go play a different game. There are plenty of great games in the ocean.
I have a trade offer. I have a trade offer.
I feel guilty. I feel bad for bringing this to the podcast.
I have a trade offer for r/Overwatch for the casual audience. I have a trade offer. Here's a trade offer. You can have Overwatch 1 back. Every single bullet point, you can have them all back, but you no longer get free loot boxes. You have to pay for every single one. How about now?
No, they're done, bro.
How do they feel about that? No, I would like someone to answer that. Not you guys. Like, if someone can leave a comment, because whoever feels strongly about Overwatch 1, you'd feel that strong about Overwatch 1 if I said you just didn't get free shit anymore. You'd have to pay for every loot box, every skin. Got to pay for it. Can't get anyone. None of them are free. Zero. None of them. How would they feel?
All right. So the point of this segment was obviously not to take these posts seriously at all. Some of them were like fun flashbacks to like old Torbjorn and stuff. But I actually think that the game is actually, it is improving patch by patch. And yes, there are some things that are bad, like Lifeweaver is obviously not where Lifeweaver needs to be. Yes, the ranks has some pinpoint stuff like. But like we've discussed that to no end. Like I think I look back at these posts and I'm like, some of these things are just so stupid and roasting the glasses and like ridiculous. But I just wanted to bask in the ridiculous for a while. So I apologize, Custa, that I brought all these negative feelings and annoying content to the podcast. But I just figured I'd have a bit of a laugh. Now, if you actually play ranked, like Jaws, for example, and you light it up in ranked, I don't know how to transition to this. Never mind. I'm fucking tired. Tired of the throat burn, chest pain, and coughing attacks when you light up. Upgrade to a freeze pipe today and experience icy smooth clouds without the afterburn. Freeze pipes makes a unique line of freezable pipes, bubblers, and bongs that cool smoke by over 300 degrees. Smoking a freeze pipe is like putting ice cubes in your bong if those ice cubes took steroids and played baseball in the 90s. The secret is freezable glycerin chambers that come on every piece. After a quick freeze, these glycerin chambers dramatically chill smoke for a refreshing and easy on the body toke. Say goodbye to harsh smoke forever and shop the smoothest pipes, bubblers, bongs, dab rigs, and more at thefreezepipe.com. Use code esports for 10% off your entire order. That's thefreezepipe.com and code esports for 10% off. Order today and enjoy free shipping and everyday great prices. There we go. Now, Custa, I did get good news though. If this partnership here, us, FreezePipe, goes well, mutually beneficial for both partners, there might be certain products that do get delivered to certain people, and so that is something that we could explore if this works out. If the viewers appease, if the viewers contribute, if our community bands together and does one for the team, the podcast, us, we are the team, does one for us. Custa, there might be something in it for you at down the line,
Okay.
Well, Jack,
okay.
is
Well,
Jack
hey,
in
You know,
Sure,
what
it's
about
just
me?
for
I live in
Custa.
California, bro. Come on, man.
Just left Jack out of it.
My throat was getting
you know-
burned last night, actually, but if I had a freeze pipe, I wouldn't get burned so much.
Yeah,
you need those 300 degrees chill, the glycerin chambers. You need those.
That's
Look,
actually
Jack,
crazy.
I'll look into it.
I mean,
I'm not making any
be honest
promises.
with you. It would be a crazy episode, like off the wall crazy. If we went
Bro,
down that path.
we can do it. We can do it. We'll do an episode, and we won't talk about it, but we'll just do it. And anyone who knows will know, because you guys are here. You guys will know when the episode is coming, and then we'll run it like that.
You should
Yeah,
do a,
support
The
it,
off season's
we'll
gonna
do
be long. That's all I'm saying.
you should do a hit of freeze pipe right before you get into some deep discussion about aliens. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. Think about it. We'd still be on Aliens if we would still be on Aliens if that were the case.
100%.
Yo, freeze pipe. I got a podcast idea. I got a podcast idea for our off season. Hit me up. There you go. Thefreezepipe.com. Use code esports for 10% off and free shipping and everyday great prices. So there you go. Thank you, FreezePipe. All right, let's get into some of the actual news of this week and less of the funny, silly, dumb segments. First of all, before we get into the Overwatch League roster stuff, there was this hero trailer thing that was shown on streams. Several of the streamers, apparently we picked Flat's clip, but this is Flat's little
Sombra.
browser source on the stream or whatever, where like, whoa, hacks, and it goes back to, you know, roasting the glasses of the Sombra. What do they call it? ARG.
ARG. Yeah.
Augmented
Yeah,
reality
some
game,
little
yeah.
cool
Yeah.
video messages, and apparently it says something. I'm not quite sure what it says, but it says something like
Message
"help me
uploaded.
out" or like "message coming" or something. Yeah. It's just,
I think Flats is getting an Oscar for this acting, actually. Kinda crazy.
I didn't get the post personally because I don't know, but
They were all reacting live, weren't they?
Shroud was on as well. All these streamers they had
Shroud?
this link. Yeah, Shroud. Was,
Really,
on
Shroud
Overwatch, yeah.
was.
Scump was doing.
Well,
a
they'll
stream
probably,
too.
they'll probably like, oh, I'll play during this time, and it'll probably happen to everyone at the same time. But as Joey said,
Oh.
well, that's cool. I think it's a cool little activation.
ARGs in general are very cool.
Yeah.
Like just the concept of those and like how.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you play at a certain time?
well, I
Huh?
think it's a sponsored.
Well,
stream.
it's
right.
Overwatch
it has
isn't doing
Overwatch
it.
2
It's-
under the camera. You know what I mean? Like I think
I
it's
see,
a
I see.
sponsored-
It's just a browser source on their OBS.
Just in case
like-
you don't know what games being played, there's an Overwatch 2 logo right on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd reach out to me of all people to sponsor this.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
I might confuse it with Paladins or something if they didn't say Overwatch 2.
Yeah, so that might ramp up, of course, and we'll chat next week if there's some new fun rumors and, you know, things going on and fun mysteries within the community. We'll see what more drops. But let's talk about some Overwatch League teams then. One team in particular has absolutely imploded. Things have just bizarrely gone fully wrong. The Guangzhou Charge dropped both their coaches. They dropped Choice One. And they replaced Choice One with Jinmu. And that's in addition, of course, with Gaga replacing Piggy not too long ago either. So Guangzhou Charge, they have no coaches. Apparently they have a 5-man roster now. And this might be it for the foreseeable future, Custa.
You see,
It's a sad day.
What
Jimmy's still there.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, Jimmy's still there. What was his tweet? Didn't he say like pain or something like that? Something along those lines.
Jimmy.
Jimmy made a tweet that was like, it said something like pain or tragic or something. It was like a one word of just like help. So
Help.
yeah, there's the team's essentially like it's probably writing on the wall for the Guangzhou Charge of they're like, hey, we're just getting rid of all the players who either they like Choice One out, like they haven't announced where he's going or if he's going.
He's
anywhere.
LFT. He said he's LFT.
He's just full LFT. Like
He's
it
full
sounds
LFT.
like anyone who wanted to keep trying, they were just sort of like, yeah, we'll let you leave. But they're kind of just like throwing in the towel
Question.
for right now.
Do you guys think Guangzhou had taken the 6 mil?
Yeah, nah, probably not.
No, they don't look like they're taking 6 mil, clearly.
Jimmy said pity, by the way. That's what
yeah.
he said.
So Choi didn't get picked up anyway. He just got dropped. Now, it looks like to me, if you want to be charitable about the situation, they are building a full Chinese roster. No more. There's no Korean coaches, no Korean players. No Koreans, just full Chinese roster. But and you also want to be charitable. They're kind of rebuilding Chengdu on this roster. It's like a no-leave Chengdu. This is what Chengdu without leave looks like.
That
So
sounds great.
that sounds awful.
Probably not the
I don't
best.
think anyone wants
So
that.
Chengdu without leave doesn't sound the most. It's like, do you want to? It's like, I'm gonna say, do you want the Bulls without Jordan? But actually, that'd still be a pretty good team. But you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. It's like you're losing your star player there. But it is at least a Chengdu reunion. Hey, they killed Chengdu Hunters, the actual team, but they just usurped the Charge instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great if you're a Guangzhou Charge fan. And it kind of sucks because as much as I wasn't part of the Guangzhou Charge fan, like, hello, Jimmy, you're amazing. It is really fun when the community rallies around the team, like the community rallied around Guangzhou Charge. So it just kind of sucks. They got reverse swept by Hangzhou Spark in the spring stage knockouts. And since
the same
then,
sense.
it was all downhill. They lost to Dreamers, and then they lost the summer stage matches. They lost to Panthera this past week. Couldn't figure out the meta. Yeah, it's looking Jover Bidon for the Guangzhou Charge.
So Jimmy wrote. Well, he didn't write. He not Jimmy. Sorry, Piggy did a stream, and it got translated on Compo W, where he basically mentioned stuff like he was starting to lose confidence in his ability as a main tank player. He was also losing love for the game, although that might have already started from earlier. I'm sort of condensing it here. It's quite long. There's a lot more in there. I'm not going to mention all of it. And he also mentioned that the team environment started to get sour when they started losing. And obviously, I think the combined factor, the fact that you have a bunch of Chinese players who are, I believe, in the facility, and the 2 Korean players, plus I think some of the coaches might have, yeah, Ty Dollar was not with the team, so part of the team were playing together in a facility. Some of the other parts of the team were not. Ty Dollar, Choice One, and Piggy were not. Team culture got weird, and yeah, it's the result of which is that Piggy got dropped and Choice One got dropped, and they've gone full Chinese. And obviously, you know, to you guys who played on teams, you know, once you start losing, shit can go sour pretty quick.
Well, it gets very, like, I think for a lot of these players and like this team in general, like, as I said, everything's great when it's working, but as soon as they lost Ray, as soon as they start losing players, losing matches to like worse teams, like, it's not even about like just confidence. It's about like, what am I doing here? Especially when the Overwatch League is like, hey, we're probably not going to exist. The team is probably like, hey, we're probably not going to exist next year. Like, for a lot of these guys, it's like, well, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I'm just gonna leave. Like, if you don't care about closing up the season or making all that money, like, then why wouldn't you just fucking leave? So like, for all we know, like, Choice One retires so he can seriously play, you know, Valorant, right? Like, how many people are going to be like, well, shit, this shit's dead, let's move on, right?
Well, he's still LFT for now, so he's not trying to leave the game. He got removed from the team, as did Piggy.
Yeah. I mean,
but who's looking for Choice One? Like, as much as teams want him, is anyone willing to pay the salary for him, right?
well, now it's tough, especially. But I could definitely see how someone like Choice One, who is really good at the game, just feels like, well, damn, like, did I waste my time on the Guangzhou Charge? Because Choice One, I think, has deserved to take that step up. It just so happened that Guangzhou Charge was really good to start this year, but I think we can all agree that Choice One is the caliber of player who could have been on one of these
Actually, people
West
are saying,
Region
like,
team.
he could have probably have been on Vegas instead of Finale, which we'll get to in a bit as well. Then again, he'd be on Vegas, and I don't know if that's really great, but I'm sure he'd still like to play, so, you know, it's a toss-up, right? There's no way he could join an NA team because of how difficult it would get over, unless it was either the Canadian teams that they seem to be full at the moment. So it'd have to be a team in Korea or like at least in APAC, and there doesn't seem to be any obvious ones. Like, Dallas are actually looking fine at the moment. I don't think Dallas need another flex DPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no one. There's now 2 full Chinese teams, for like the first time ever in the Overwatch League. By the way, it's never happened before. Seoul Dynasty, probably not. They got Profit, right? And then Shanghai and Viper. Also, you have to physically be in Shanghai, which would be a problem for Choice One. He'd probably be best on a Contenders team if he really wants to play. I'm sure a Contenders team in Contenders Korea would pick him up, yeah.
Maybe. Okay, I mean, this is an insane stretch. But
Okay.
My favorite.
Boston Uprising.
Well, that is the root, but
yeah,
the
but
thing
how
is,
did they
like,
get him there?
Boston don't need him, and they don't need him. And like, why would they pay him
It
when
takes
he's not
too
going to make
long.
it to the country and he's probably not going to play?
It takes too long to get a visa. There's just no
yeah,
way.
no, I'm just looking pure at roster. I'm not thinking about visa and stuff. But like, you wouldn't necessarily want him for the Tracer because the K can play the Tracer. But you know, it'd be some kind of weird third man bench alternative.
He'd be there to replace Striker on the bench. It'd just be another bench warmer. It just wouldn't really make sense.
But I think we all recognize that Choice One is the caliber player who could be on one of these teams. You know.
Oh yeah, he's a great player.
Yeah, he's to me, he's like a checkmate. You know, he's one of those hidden gem players, just like checkmate, who deserves a real good shot to prove his worth. I think he's at that level, in my opinion.
I want to shout out before we move on here. I want to shout out Mason Bridgers for donating $20. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mason Bridger, for supporting the podcast. Johnny hit the bong. It's not ready. I'm sorry. Freezing the glycerin chambers. I'm sorry. There you go. Freeze pipe. And Determined Doug for the $5. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for supporting the podcast. Never stop posting. Well, the off-season's long. We'll see. Finale then, as you mentioned, AVRL gets picked up by Vegas as the 6th member. So, like you said, like you wrote here, Avala dropping herself as a player? Question mark. Avala no longer.
We lost Avala. No.
We lost Avala. It was a good run. It was a good run.
Not at the cost
One
of
map.
Avala.
Was it one map? I think it was one map. 2 maps?
Put Finale back in Contenders. That's not at the cost of Avala dropping herself from the team. Come on.
Dude, poor fucking. I'm more worried about Dove, who's just. Dove's probably the one who's going to get hit the hardest because if they're signing Finale, I expect Finale to play. Like, that's probably writing on the wall. So then we got Rack Attack as the sole person. BP really hitting the nail on the head.
He's playing
like
the moth role. He's playing the moth position.
Yeah, kind of, right? Like, let's see. I don't know. Vegas Eternal look better with their players. Like Knife's playing really well. Finale is a solid player. Like they can overcome the ping issues. Then I don't know. This team's definitely getting better. It couldn't have gotten worse than we saw in the first half of the season. So
I mean, Vegas already looked good in their last showing with Knife, and now you're improving your Sombra player. You're making an upgrade from Dove to Finale. Like Valiant, get ready. It's gonna be a good game.
yeah,
It's Finale's Sombra experience because he didn't play it in Contenders most recently. He was the Tracer player most recently
Well,
in Contenders.
yeah, but he probably either of the two will probably play Sombra, unless they just play Tracer Echo all the time. You know, so I don't.
It's true though. Tracer Echo.
Do you think Dove is gonna retain the spot as the Sombra specialist for that team?
And Finale's played Sombra in the past, though.
Who knows, man? Maybe it could.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it. Like, I'd be very surprised if the Vegas Eternal are going to make a signing like this and then not play them. Like, that would be very strange to me. Like, we know how, like, budget they've been over the last few years. They're not going to sign a player they're not going to play. Like, if anything, like, the only reason Dove is still here is because he's already under contract. There's enough months remaining that, like, if they were going to get rid of him, they'd probably need to pay him a couple of months anyway. I think that's the ruling, or, like, 1 month. So it's like, fuck it, why not just keep him? Like,
what if Vala's just like, I don't want to be subbed in again.
Yeah, like that could absolutely be a thing as well.
Player.
But like, I think they would still play Finale under that situation, and Dove would be the emergency player.
Right. Yeah. So you guys are all saying Finale probably replaces Dove. I think it might be a ping issue here as well. I think we'll see. Like, if I don't know what Sombra's like on ping, 200 ping, but there's a chance that Dove's ping advantage still keeps him in.
Sombra might be quite rough on ping just because translocation timings and stuff. But the shooting wouldn't be that bad, but just the fucking pretty rough.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, though. You can see the upcoming matches on your screen. It's Valiant, London, Vancouver. So,
some winnable games.
Yeah. Winnable games. We got some Preds later in the show. And finally, was this confirmed? Yeah, it was confirmed. Yeah. The LA Gladiators pick up Cal.
Yeah.
And Lastro, rumored to be dropped. Did you put that in here, AVRL?
I put that
Where
in
do
here,
these rumors come from?
From
those
children on competitive Overwatch Reddit. Those kids. Those 14, 15-year-old kids that somehow know everything. Somehow they're connected to the Matrix. And they have
well,
all these
it's
leads.
probably like the Contenders found out because Cal got signed. And then, like, because someone from the Los Angeles Gladiators
the charge shit as well.
Is leaving. They have 4 supports right now. They have Funny Astro, they have Lastro, they have Babel, and now they have Cal. Like, one of them is on the way out, for sure.
Probably not Funny Astro, I think.
It's probably not Funny Astro.
Yeah,
Babel's been getting playtime. I wouldn't be surprised if Lastro's just like also the same thing. He's like, he just doesn't want it. He plays what, like less than 50% of the maps these days, because Funny Astro is always him to play Lucio.
Also, can we like as a sub point the sponsor for the Glads? Yeah. How'd you say it?
What is that?
The guy.
Doritos.
Oh,
I can't see it.
Oh, I know what you're
Doritos.
talking about.
It's the Mexican cola drink.
Yeah.
Yes. Like that for me, I'm like, wait, what? Because as far as I was aware, yeah, I mean, honestly, mad props. I think this company has also sponsored another team, a Valorant team, I think, or like another esports org recently. It's not the Guard. No, the Guard don't exist in Valorant as far as... Oh, no, they do exist in Valorant, but obviously there's the same situation with the Gladiators. They've also sponsored another team that's not the Guard, I think, in Valorant. So I was like, man, that's out of left field sponsor. Like, great.
Aren't the Guard about to disband?
Like, who is selling the Glads right now? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
aren't the Guards about to go under as an esports organization?
Right? That's why I'm like...
They got a last-minute sponsor. That's pretty hardcore.
I mean, you take that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
also,
100%.
the drink's pretty nice. So there you go. No!
No, they sold out. It's over. It's over.
God. Oh my
I want to get Johnny's thoughts on this.
Johnny, how's that bird doing, buddy? How's that bird? How much is the bird?
Oh, fuck. Moving on. Let's discuss Saturday's matches. Saturday.
Bring up that tweet.
The reason for the thumbnail. One of the best days in Overwatch League history. One off. I'm not saying it's the best. Well, the thumbnail says it's the best. I don't know who made the thumbnail. Through the guy who submitted the thumbnail. One of the best days in the Overwatch League. London upset the San Francisco Shock. We had... Was Houston Atlanta the same day? Yeah, Houston Atlanta was the same day. Florida Mayhem beat the Boston Uprising. And in APAC even, we had Seoul Dynasty taking on the Hangzhou Spark in a 3-2 match with lots of 3-2s and fun.
Then going on to lose to the fucking.
Shut up. We're getting there.
Another
Custa.
3-2.
Shut up. What the? No,
Yo,
no.
that's crazy. That's
Whoa.
crazy.
See, it's a question mark. Someone put an exclamation point on there, Solomon. I don't know who put the exclamation point on there. It wasn't Solomon. It wasn't me. I don't know what happened. I didn't see anything. Okay. Where do we start? Do we not want to start with London versus Shock? I mean, this map was just match was just completely bananas.
You said it though. It was one specific map though, I think.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Gibraltar was kind of all over the place. But yes, I mean, Reinhardt being forced by the Lone Spitfire. Is this legit? Was Shock like a true test for the Lone Spitfire here? What are our reactions from this match?
I mean, you should. Yeah, what? Did you really just say that? Are you joking?
Dude, yeah, because Shock trolled. They trolled and pushed, playing some garbage-ass Baptiste Sen composition.
A test for a team? Yeah, motherfucker. Like, what are you
Dude,
saying?
no, I'm not
okay,
kidding.
no,
When Shock
Jack,
played this match so
you're the one
poorly.
wrong.
The composition from Shock were so dumb. It was like I've never seen this composition before. They were playing like quick play. It was so stupid. I was so disappointed by how the Shock responded.
Not a test. That's
Because
very fair,
if
but
one
it's
team
still,
trolls
like,
Jack, that's not a test. Like,
It's still a test. These players on paper are just way better than the fucking
yeah, and they
Spitfire.
fucking put probe on
Yeah, and they
Bastion the
fucking
entire
troll.
time.
Also, it's Pro B, by the way. It's Pro B. I'm not going to be that guy. It's fucking Pro B.
I ain't doing it.
It's Pro
I ain't
B,
doing it.
bro.
It's Pro.
It's
No,
fucking
it's Pro.
Pro B. In
not
Hungary,
doing it.
it's Pro B. I'm just saying.
I don't care. The Overwatch
But
League is
still,
ending. I'm not
regardless of
calling
the
them Pro
team
B.
trolling or not, like, I still think it's a decent test for the London Spitfire. The London Spitfire were like, well, we're just going to run our own shit, thank God. And it's working. Also, that air shot from Prob was fucking nasty. And it fucking worked. Regardless of the Shock, like, half trolling, or whatever you want to say, I would still say this is a decent test for the London Spitfire and how well they can do if they just run their own comp.
I think there is a chance. My takeaway from this is I think there is a chance that London come out and go 0-2 this weekend and just get absolutely slammed because teams don't walk out and just play bad compositions versus this, because there is no way this Reinhardt shit should work on Gibraltar. The only reason it is working is because the Shock, like, it felt like they overcommitted on like trying to find these hard counters, and that's a hard thing to play into because London they understand those matchups really well. So like, yeah, teams are going to come in and they're going to research and they're going to look at the way London play and be like, how are we going to deal with it ourselves? And I don't think Pharah, Mercy, Bastion is the solution.
Well, they were trying to hard counter the Ryan, right? And one of the hard counters is the Pharah.
Yeah.
My biggest question is like, why did the Shock feel like they needed to like kind of cheese it out? Is it, I don't know, maybe you guys are more meta nerds than I am, but like, can you not just play standard Winston or even ball, because Jim is a sick ball player, into the Ryan comps? Does that not work? Like, does Jumbin have to go Orisa? You have to like do these weird things? Like, I don't know. To me, it felt like Shock ended up playing London's game, and London are like, if you want to match us in the brawl, whether it's a Orisa brawl, whatever, you want to play Bastion, and you're in part of the brawl, it's all standard brawl stuff. That's fine. That's London's wheelhouse. It's exactly what they want you to do. I just don't know why Shock would play London's game. Like, if you want to play London's game, you're just gonna lose because London are better at that mirror.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I don't know. I just thought, like, it's not like this happens all the time. People get caught off guard. They don't know how to deal with it. I agree. Shock should be better on paper, but it just didn't feel like they really had a good plan of how they wanted to deal with it as a team. And I think just putting all your eggs in the proper Pharah basket is dangerous because, you know, I think London know how to deal with it. So
They also didn't have good fire maps. So I mean, like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I don't know. Like, it's one of those weird ones. As you said, like, if they had just played like Winston, Sombra, Tracer, dive above it and just like wait for them to walk forward or like execute some solid dives, I feel like this
Shock playing Ryan May here is not the play.
yeah, why would you?
yeah, why
Yeah,
would you mirror
it
the
doesn't make
Reinhardt?
sense,
That makes
yeah.
no sense.
The question
Like,
is, look, think about this. If you were the Atlanta Reign, what would you do? Not fucking mirror them, obviously.
yeah.
Like, there's no way Atlanta would mirror them, so why would Shock do it?
Yeah, I think if you want to give yourself the best chance at beating this comp and you have a reasonably good dive, like, you should be able to pull it off still and just like play around it. It's a different play style. It gets especially hard because I've seen not necessarily any Winstons in the league currently, but like in the past, like the old days, whatever. Like I did see Winstons, like they don't know how to play Winston around a Reinhardt composition because it changes the playstyle a little bit. Like you're using leap to escape or to dive in, and like some people just, if you're a novice player, like just can't wrap their head around that kind of play. Like it's definitely something you have to go through the thought of actually like, okay, so this is how I'm going to play Winston against Reinhardt compositions because it's a different play style. And like some of these Winston players, especially like if you're an off-tank player that's just picking up Winston, they haven't had that experience of playing against like Ghost compositions. What?
Bro, go jumping novice.
Jumpin is very experienced. Like that's. I don't think that would work.
I'm not speaking to him specifically, but like, if you are one of those teams who has a Winston player who can play around Rhino comps, then you should fucking play it. Like, I don't see the point of opting into Ryan.
Okay. I just think if you're Jumbin's experience and he shouldn't have done it. He should have played.
I thought
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying shock trolled.
Yeah, we agree. We agree.
I don't know. Like, the funniest thing that I found about all this is that Valiant ended up playing London the next day, and they also played Eichenwalder, and they also played, like, Farah Mercy, and they also played Arista at some point as well. So I was like, what about what you saw from the shock yesterday made you be like, yeah, we should try that?
Yeah, the Arista shit does not work, man. You just ignore the Arista, because it's like, well, what's she going to do?
Yeah.
Guess Alana's spear to get a decent kill.
And don't they play like Finns and Yada on the fourth map, right? The third?
Dude, the fucking push combo was so garbage.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
Yeah, no, they played Finn Zen, and then London were like, wait, you're playing Zen? And they just TP speed.
Yeah.
And it's just, he's dead. Like, what's Zen? He's got a kick, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. And
it was so annoying. Yeah. So the question that comes from this. Also, like, if you're playing Orisa, like, you're not enabling the rest of your damage players. You're not enabling your damage players to actually play heroes that can, like, deal with this composition effectively. Like, playing Winston, you just open up the amount of damage heroes you can play, in my opinion, effectively. And same goes for, like, the support line. I'm molding.
I want to say.
So the question is, does Lono Spitfire, can they actually utilize this Reinhardt composition moving forward? And will teams adapt, or will they be like a force to be reckoned with?
Who are the next games?
Gladiators.
Great question.
And someone else.
There's a chance. We're glad. I'm just
Glads are in a weird spot though.
It's one of those things that it'll work until people start to. And this is what we saw last season, right? When they were playing it in the first stage, it worked really well when they were catching teams off guard. People didn't realize they were going to play it on certain maps, and then eventually, as soon as one team works it out, teams are fully prepared for you to play like this one trick style comp. All of a sudden, they're going to come in with a much better game plan other than, the San Francisco Shock, who were really just throwing anything at the wall to see what stuck.
I want to compliment Hardy's play, though, because of watching his POV, he was sick. Like, he gave zero fucks. He was charging into the Shock back line, gave them no respect, teabagging proper, I think, at one point. And he's just fully in the face of the Shock and sending fear down their spines. I enjoyed that. That was some real prime alpha Reinhardt gameplay. I enjoyed it. And
also, don't get it twisted. Like, this is great play. Even when it eventually stops working for London Spitfire and people turn on them saying, why are they only one tricking this comp? It sucks. They're losing now. Like, it's better than what they could do if they played dive. They got absolutely destroyed on Dorado against the Valiant trying to play the dive. They're just not good at it. You're not going to turn that around. Just hope you can get as many wins before we go to the next patch.
All right. The Lono Spitfire schedule. I'm not joking when I say this. Gladiators this week. Vegas this week. Valiant. And then Houston Outlaws. Wait, did I get that right? I might have been joking. Yeah. Gladiators, Vegas, Valiant, Houston. So they're playing Vegas and Valiant.
It sounds like Houston's going down.
So winnable, actually.
And they're playing Gladiators, which is also maybe winnable.
Houston has also gone silly season against some other things, like where they also go off the goop and like try crazy stuff. Obviously, that was like very random, but I don't know. Like, I think that'll work for London against multiple different teams, like against those teams. Like Vegas,
the next three for sure.
New team. Yeah,
if they beat Vegas Valiant, they're at 6 wins, and they probably will be in the knockouts for the play-ins.
Like, it's pretty easy to well, who's gonna fall out because it's 3 teams don't make it, right? So who's
Liquidpedia's messed up, so it's
the question comes up: who is London going to knock out? I guess it's potentially one of the 5-5 teams that ends up shitting the bed or something like that.
Yeah, Vancouver's at 4, Toronto's at 5, New York's at 5,
Yeah, okay. So maybe one
Shock
of
at
those teams.
6.
But
Yeah.
I also think there's a world in which Valiant and Vegas put up a pretty solid fight against this Reinhardt stuff. As I said, I think the element of surprise is gone.
Yeah. I'm
It
surprised
should have
not.
always been gone, right? I mean, it was gone like 2 years ago, surely.
No, but like they haven't been playing it this whole time, and like it's not even just a surprise. People always expect London to do it, but expecting it and knowing how to deal with it is like impossible because no one plays Brawl and no one plays it as well as London. So on fucking Gibraltar.
I respect that London are just going back to the roots. So you know, they're like,
agree.
you know what,
Yeah,
we're not winning
mad
on Winston.
respect.
Just go back to Ryan and start winning there, and they are now. So
Yeah, it's cool.
All right.
Good on London, man.
Moving on. Let's talk about Atlanta Reign versus Houston Outlaws. Atlanta Reign taking their first loss of the season. Houston Outlaws beating them in a 3-2 fashion. And this was a banger. This was a banger of the series. This was an honest series as well. It was an honest series between the Houston Outlaws
Honest
and the
Overwatch.
Atlanta Reign. Sorry?
Honest Overwatch.
Honest
I like,
Overwatch?
I like that we're saying that, but it's like a pure Sombra meta, and we're just all going to call it honest after we.
Yeah,
say
but
it was-
what I mean is Houston beat Atlanta in their own game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it was
fair
a
enough.
deserved win to that regard. Where like you can't look at the Houston Outlaws win and be like give excuses or
What's the-
anything.
what's the
This was
silly
Houston
season
Outlaws
Scott's talking
beating the
about?
Atlanta Reign.
Scott, you're saying Houston did silly things. When was that?
No, against like Farracomps and stuff like that. I'm talking like Pro-Am and when they played against a couple of those weird
I
teams
see.
in the
Right.
past. They're like,
Not-
when they went
not
like
super
more
recently.
shit. No, not in this series. This series was, as Johnny said, pretty honest Overwatch for the most part of teams just going blow for blow.
Actually,
So
good
it's
game.
okay. Well, do you want me to give like a hot take setup here now? Like, is Houston Outlaws the best team in the league now?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. They went 0-2 last weekend. People thought this was finally the demise of the Houston Outlaws, and then they beat Atlanta. So now everyone's like, "Ooh, I always knew that they were going to bounce back." Like, I don't know. They just played well. Pelican on the Echo, like, it had some value. Atlanta Reign are just still much better at the Tracer Sombra. Like, that's not anything anyone's surprised about. But I think we've seen in this meta that there's a lot of maps within the map pool rotation where you have to just play different shit, right? Circle Royale. There's the Remarch like Brawl maps where it feels like Houston Outlaws had the edge over the Atlanta Reign. So it feels like Atlanta needs to have more diversity than they did in the last stage.
Okay, let me ask this instead because it's more of an honest question and not as baity or whatever. Houston Outlaws, do they have the best support backline with Violet Chu?
No,
I still think
Cheerfielder is
Cheerfielder
still
is
better.
Wait,
Yeah, I think Atlanta's still better.
What?
They have the
Oh,
better
wow.
tank though. Like, we'll give them that
I
one.
thought you guys would be more disagreed on that one and engage some conversation.
Oh,
well,
Fearless is better. That's definitely better.
Let me ask the question. Do you think this loss hurts Donghack's rookie of the year
Ooh.
bid? Because
to whom?
I don't. Well, there are other options like
Knife and Spectra, obviously. Come on, guys.
yeah, well, like there's obviously a lot of great rookies that come in late, but like that they're unlikely. Then it's like only Sugar Free. But I think Donghack was one of the major issues that Atlanta Reign had in this series, and we've hyped him up, we've gassed him up. We need to speak about the other side where Donghack really got caught first a lot against the Outlaws, and that hurt them in a lot of these maps.
I don't think it hurts the bid that much, to be very honest with you. Just because he, yeah, sure, he fumbled the bag a little bit, getting caught first and stuff, but he's still playing. And again, maybe propped up by the rest of his team, but he's still playing at a very, very, very high level compared to a lot of like rookie tank players that we see come into the league. So no, I don't think that hurts his rookie stats. Maybe a little bit, sure, but he's also playing against the best Winston in the world. So
He's also got the best support line in the world, though.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's going to look worse. Yeah, there's a lot of caveats to that. So I think it's incredibly hard to actually decipher whether he's trolling or like, no, sorry, not trolling, but his rookie of the year status is going to take away from him. No, I think that's almost impossible to really nail down.
unfortunately, I think Knife and Spectra just come in too late into the season. I mean, I really want to like boost those guys as much as I can, but they come in so late, it's like hard. And because we don't have another stage championship, it's not like they can go to Hawaii or go to Toronto, go to somewhere where they can really prove on stage. So it really does suck.
Something that would really prove his worth, especially on this main tank, like Winston kind of thing, would be if the meta shifts, like especially against a backline that's maybe not more vulnerable. There's been a bit of talk recently, like Brig as a character is very dark. It's gotten to the point where the character is just like hyper dumb and like. I think who is it? I think I saw Magic Mateball. In fact, a tweet from Magic Mateball of all people about Brig in the backline. How like you have a chance of surviving the Stalker Lip 3-2-1ing your backline, and like that should not be possible. But you have a chance. Like, and in solo queue, it's just kind of like a warlord backline. Like, it's so hard to kill because people in queue aren't as like proficient as obviously Lip and fucking Stalker. So in a different meta where Donghag isn't going against these like warlords like Shu and Violet and like some of the best backlines in the world, and even like in a Winston meta, I think that would really cement like where he belongs in terms of like rookie of the year, etc. But it's going to take a meta shift, I think.
Right.
Which will hopefully come for the playoffs.
I want to ask a question, not really a Donghag. What do you guys think about the Happy and Pelican swap? Because Happy's on Tracer and Pelican's on Sombra now.
I think it's necessary so Pelican can switch between Echo and Sombra.
Yeah, but moment. But are they good enough on those? Well, clearly they won, so maybe that's a stupid question to ask. But like on paper, it doesn't sound like is Happy no way Happy's a better Tracer than Pelican, right? It just can't be right.
He's had some really solid maps. Like, because I had the same concern about Happy on the Tracer, but he's actually really stepped up in like a big way on some of these situations. He's definitely not, a stalker or a prop or anything like that, but I think he's holding his own, and I think if that enables them to be able to have the flexibility of Pelican, I think it's a better setup than what they had in the past. Personally.
Okay.
What? I don't know. Like, it could definitely hurt them when they get into like the playoffs, and Happy just can't match these kind of guys.
I mean, they just beat Atlanta, so something must be working.
Yeah.
Hard
like he had a good series. Like he played well in this series.
Also, wasn't this what they played in Mid-Season Madness?
They were playing Pelican Tracer a lot. This has been like a transition that they've gone back and forth on like multiple times.
So we didn't see that much Echo in mid-season, so there wasn't this necessity for your Tracer.
I thought they played Happy Tracer primarily like in the Mid-Season Madness. So
I can't remember exactly when the transition happened, but we definitely started the season with Pelican Tracer.
I can take a look at mid-season right now.
Yeah, I thought Happy played a large degree of it, and I think Happy's Tracer like looks really competitive in that degree. But you're like up against Stalker and Lip, so that's very hard, and that's why I think they deserve a lot of credit. Pelican Sombra looked really good in this series, I think, and Happy's Tracer, like being able to stand up to these guys is a massive testament to how good they are on the heroes, right? So, it was a team accomplishment more than anything to beat the Atlanta Reign. So just like really impressive performance.
Johnny, you are actually kind of right. Yeah, in the finals, Happy played a lot of Tracer, Pelican played a lot of Sombra, and
in the upper bracket match as well. So that's why I question it.
I'm looking through the game right now, and that's true. Yeah, they did swap mid-season already.
Yeah, there were a couple of instances where Pelican played Tracer, I think, in the Mid-Season Madness upper bracket final or something. But anyway, entire team looks great. So it was a regular season match, so I don't think there's any huge takeaways, especially because Houston have looked a little bit inconsistent, right? So hard to say. But impressive performance by Houston nonetheless.
How does this impact Gators' legacy?
Moving on to Boston Uprising versus Florida Mayhem. Not as big of like an upset by any means, but Florida Mayhem, they did establish dominance over the Boston Uprising with a 3-2 win here. So Florida Mayhem
dive.
Yeah. Solid top 3 team here. Are we ready to say that it's Atlanta Reign, Houston Outlaws, and Florida Mayhem? That's the top 3. We feel good.
That was even the case from mid-season, wasn't it? So
yeah.
What's changed, really?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people predicted Boston Uprising apparently. So now it's clear.
Not Scott, because he hates Boston. So
it's on print.
True. Well, no, like I think Boston's biggest weakness right now is that they really are just like kind of stuck to this Tracer Sombra. We talk about how teams need to play other things on other maps, but it doesn't feel like Boston are really trying to do that at all. They just want to play Tracer Sombra as much as possible. Like Decay's played every time I see Decay play Echo, he plays it for like one fight and then he's like, fuck this shit, I'm going back to Tracer. And I honestly think that works for them, but I am worried about that.
What was that?
What was that? I was like, Boston. Let's go. Look at this. I'm getting ready to cast Boston because Scott hates it.
I was
Boston.
checking if you're wearing the same shirt, but that looks like a darker shade of
That's
green.
a jumper. That's a jumper,
Okay, I was
bro.
checking. I
Jesus
was checking.
Christ. Holy. Dude. Okay. I'm going to keep it real with you. I have about how many shirts the same color?
Why is it so heated?
Because people say that shit all the time. I've got different colors, okay?
Say that shit.
Why are your shirts just in the living
People
room?
always say I wear the same shit, so he sews just 10 shirts that are exactly the
Dude.
same, just different shades. Why do people think this?
There's a clip of out there on Twitch of me wearing the same t-shirt like three clips deep. Like it's crazy. Like it is crazy. I just had a tan colored t-shirt forever. Okay, look, I just like the t-shirt.
Yeah, it's good to have the fundamentals, in the wardrobe. You need a few green shirts, like I do, a few yellow
Fundamentals
shirts, a
is the
few
only
white.
one.
I can't do green because of green screen, so
Yeah, it's true.
that color's just dead for
that's
me.
True.
Oh,
That's facts, actually.
I used to have a green screen, and I was just tired of pulling it up all the time. It's annoying for me. Oh well. Do you want to get into some of the APAC matches, AVRL?
Let's go.
Share your
baby.
insight with us.
Things happened.
Things happen.
Things happened.
Storyteller AVRL, I'm ready.
Man, dude, Seoul Dynasty had one of the wildest weekends where they gave so much hope to the fans. They're like, we can be a top team now. Profit's popping off again. Easy Han's like gelling with the team. As Sombra finally looks decent. He's not dying. Like Easy Han had very low deaths in the Hangzhou game. Profit's like going toe to toe with Leave, beating Leave in several situations. Leave still played out of his mind. I think the Hangzhou backline let them down in that matchup a lot. And actually, Vindime coming back in the roster was pretty big for the team. I think Vindime coming back for Seoul Dynasty has been really good. There was a funny clip actually at the end of one of these maps. Profits, you might have seen the GIF already. Profits like choking Vindame, as like jokingly choking him, but he had both hands around the neck. It was looking like if you got the wrong context, there it was like, Jesus, we are witnessing live murder and assault on an Overwatch League stream. Profit went full sicko mode in this game. This was peak playoffs Profit moment. And yeah, Ballistria was good. I mean, this was probably one of the better games that Ballistria played. This was a solid game from Seoul Dynasty. I think the whole Krillin back to flex support, Vindime coming in, really improved it. Here we go.
I'm happy for the guy.
Look at Profit coming in. Oh,
Strangling him. It's
That
so
is,
gatchy.
especially seeing as it's like he instantly starts defending himself. Bro, Profit. Someone's gonna keep an eye on Vindime. Oh God. Oh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, is he the
Bro,
gachi or he wants him dead? Look at that.
I'm
What
not
the
comfortable
hell? Oh my god.
solving it. All they need is some bondage.
like,
gear.
"You missed
Yeah,
one
anyway,
halt."
Never mind.
It's good to oh Jesus, Solomon, chill out. Good to see him have a good time anyway.
But
It was kind of sad how it went for
Speaking of
Vindime.
good times, but then they lost to a
Yeah.
contenders team. They lost to O2 Blast.
To O2 Blast.
And O2
And-
Blast aren't even like that good right now.
Exactly. O2 Blast up until look. This is the funny thing because of Avast. Praise that he's not here to talk about. Would have loved to have gone to Avast because he co-stream. He finally does APAC co-stream that he said he was going to do for ages. And I dropped in for this game. I think the last two maps I dropped in on because I didn't know he was co-streaming. And Albert apparently went partying the night before and just stayed up and co-streamed with him anyway. It was like 8 a.m. for them watching this game. They were delirious watching this O2 versus Dynasty game. And I'm in there saying, guys, I think O2 is like the worst team at APAC. There's no way. O2 do not look like the worst. They look much better than Seoul Dynasty. I'm like, that just can't be right because Seoul Dynasty yesterday versus the Hangzhou Spark looked really good. So I don't know, like in the span of over the course of the weekend, Seoul Dynasty just like flipped from looking good versus Spark to looking really shocking versus O2 Blast, where Lil Profit went on his revenge tour. He fully went on his flu because he also got COVID after that game, by the way, as well. So people were saying like,
Jesus.
yeah, it's his flu game revenge tour. It's Michael Jordan flu game all over again.
Yo.
He came in and just like he played the Hanzo, I think, and just tore up the Seoul Dynasty. And the whole time I'm sitting there watching the game thinking, man, Jimmy must be pissed. Because Jimmy's now being forced on a Tracer and they're playing Tracer Echo, and he's just watching Profit destroy Seoul Dynasty playing Hanzo. Like, that's the hero that I should be playing. Why am I not on that hero? But yeah, so that happened, and O2 Blast somehow, some way got their shit together when I thought this team was not going to be. And also, who are you on this Tracer? Had an insane game. Like he was hitting all these sticks. He was killing the backline. He was just running rings around the Seoul Dynasty. I couldn't believe it because when has Who Are You ever been like known to be a good Tracer player? He's been known as a Genji one trick forever. Last year for Shanghai, he only came in to play Genji. He never played anything else. Basically, he played like maybe 2 games of Tracer max. And
Wait,
any
am I
year
off to go?
before
Didn't
that-
Who Are You play like lots of Tracer back in the day?
No.
Well, who?
He was
Which
primarily a Genji player. He
It was
did play
just
some
Genji.
Tracer in one of the seasons. I can't remember
New
where it
York?
was, and it
He
looked
played New
okay,
York for
but
New York?
it was never exceptional.
He mostly got benched on New York. I'm misremembering.
Yeah.
He never.
Did he even play for New York? I don't think he did.
That's the other thing. And then for Luna Takai, he was the Genji player because Guido was
Yeah.
a Tracer player. Remember? Because Guido was playing Tracer, not Who Are You?
my God.
So
Whatever.
his entire history is just like not really Tracer. So it's like surprising how good his Tracer was. But yeah, dude, look at Prophet. Fucking hell. LP was going on it. He was fired up. He wanted this revenge match victory so badly. You could tell.
I respect it.
I'm trying to look up the Who Are You thing, but I'm probably not gonna.
So
find
yeah,
it,
so yeah, Avast and Albert were their minds were being melted. Oh, dude, show the Solomon, show the Midtown C9. The Midtown C9, obviously the end of Midtown. Show that one. It is insane. This is a C9 of all time. There was like
It's
a
one
record
of the
number of
C9s of all
C9s.
time.
It really was. There was a record number of C9s on this particular day of APAC. Plentiful C9s.
We've had
happened.
a ton of C9s actually over the last week.
Here we go.
There's a lot of movement.
Ready?
Movement there.
Whoa.
Oh,
Play it
that's
again.
rough.
Play it again in slow mo. Play it again at 0.5.
That is so rough. He leap? Oh, he's waiting for leap cooldown. Too.
Yeah.
Wow. Bring no
That's
bash. No leap.
So no leap. Oh,
that's.
that's.
I mean, that Blizzard probably just fucking rolls them anyway.
That is a
God damn.
C9 of all time right there. Whew. Damn. God damn.
All right. Did you cover the Hangzhou Spark match too?
Hangzhou versus Dynasty?
Yeah.
I just did 2-4. You just said tell the stories. I'll just do
Oh.
both then.
Sorry, I was
You
too
guys wanna
busy
comment?
looking
You
at
guys
Who
have
Are
any
You
comments?
stats that I couldn't find, and now the stats lab is like a little bit broken. So I don't know.
I don't know if you guys have any
That was good. That was a good. Tweet.
Let me ask you this, Avril. Let me ask you this. Is Dallas Fuel back? Are they a threat?
I want to say yes, but the issue is they're 4-0 this stage, but the 4 teams they beat are 3 contenders teams in Shanghai.
Yeah.
So as
We're
much as I
holding
want
off
to
the
say
party.
they're back, as much as I say they're back, I'm like, oh, I'm resisting. I gotta resist a little. I need to see them this week against who they playing this week? I forgot. They need whoever they're playing. They're playing a good game this week. They're
Dude,
playing
everything's
oh
breaking.
shit! They're playing Infernal. They're playing Infernal this week. That's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah, that'll
But-
be the real test. At least they're playing the right heroes now.
Someone
like,
has Mag has COVID.
Mag is COVID.
Oh.
Dude, what happened? All these players getting COVID.
I don't know. I
There
think
is a
some-
new
something
variant.
spread.
Oh, in like
Yeah,
Korea.
They've said there's a new variant or something. Yeah. Going
Yeah, right.
around, so
All right.
So they're
Have fun with that.
they're all self quarantining in their own houses at the moment. So they're not in their facility, which might be a
That sucks.
debuff.
Hmm.
Dallas are not
Do you
back until
wanna-
they can prove they can beat like a really good team, in my opinion.
We'll measure how back they are on a scale, and the scale is power rankings. Let's do our first. Is this the first power rankings we're doing of the spring stage or the summer stage? I can't recall actually.
I don't know.
But-
No. I think we did one. We did one a couple of
But
weeks.
we did the
We're
full
doing,
one here. Do we want to do the separate regions one?
Yeah, we're doing
The
split,
separate
aren't we?
regions one is probably
we
way
probably should
easier.
do separate now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do separate.
Because
Yeah.
we ain't meet until playoffs now.
Sorry, I don't know if Solomon has that ready. But yeah, we're gonna do
Epila.
split NA and APAC because otherwise it's just bound to be a whole fiesta. Takes flying around. And yeah, we got some interesting results on our hands. Here we go.
Yay!
APAC rankings first then.
Okay.
Guangzhou are not number 2. I'll tell you that much for free.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, dude, this is hard because like Seoul Dynasty look bad, but they also beat Hangzhou. But then Hangzhou also beat Guangzhou.
Yeah, Guangzhou's kind of
Infernal
chunky.
Infernal first, and then put a tear break.
Yeah.
Then
All right, do we put Dallas Hopium?
oh, is it too early though? They beat 3 contenders teams.
But
And
Hangzhou,
Shanghai.
Hangzhou, when they play anything that isn't Winston Dive, make me want to slam my head against something.
You only need to play Winston Tracer Dive. So
No,
Yeah.
really. You need to. There's some level of like flexibility that's
they play
required.
Little Ram. They play Little Ram. That's
Yeah,
what
a
you
little
need.
bit
What
of
else do you
RAM, but
need?
a little bit of RAM looks pretty.
They
You
play
can just
Echo.
one trick
Leave
that
is an
comp
MVP
into
Echo,
playoffs.
so it's fine.
Well, okay, we can put Hangzhou above Dallas, and we can hold off. But I think
I think-
it has to go Hangzhou then Dallas.
And then I think it has to go Seoul because Seoul did beat Hangzhou.
I agree.
And then I think you. Oh, bro, do
I
you
think
put
Shanghai's better than
Shanghai?
Guangzhou now.
Yeah,
and-
fuck it.
I
Yeah,
think
no, you're right. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Jinmu coming in, like, what's Jinmu gonna come in and play? Like,
I think some Dynasty fans are not really like this because they did beat Hangzhou and like why is Hangzhou 2 above them? But like, man, loss versus O2 sucks. Like, I don't know. This is
yeah,
tough.
oh yeah, I understand that Seoul Dynasty feel like they should be above, but like you can't
Should they
invalidate
be above
everything
Dallas?
else that's happened.
Should they be above Dallas? Seoul Dynasty.
No, I think Dallas are being. I think Dallas, as much as like Dallas didn't lose to a contenders team, like that.
Dallas did beat O2. Dallas did beat O2.
Yeah, like they did, Dallas have at least been consistent and they've looked solid. I agree they haven't been tested, but they at least they're clearing the bar on
okay.
like Seoul.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll leave it here. We'll leave it here. Anyone else want to weigh in?
So what are Guangzhou going to play now? That they
What
have
do you mean?
Jimmy. Jinmu is the rumor, or
Jimmy
is-
roll swap to Tracer.
Jimmy
and
Jinmu.
Jimmy
Yeah, like-
Jinmu that's a DPS line.
that's a DPS
Jimmy
of
is
all time.
tracing out. Jimmy is tracing out, and Jinmu will be playing Echo Sombra.
I love Jimmy, and I hope he proves me wrong and he fucks. But I've watched his tracer. It's not very impactful. Like it really is.
Yeah, he's not one of the top tracers you imagine. When you think of top tracers, his name doesn't appear on the list.
It's definitely a downgrade from Choice of One. That's for sure. And
It
then I
is.
think Jinmu, he's played Sombra in the past, but like I
Sombra
don't.
was good in the past. 2021, you remember?
Yeah, but Sombra plays completely differently like that. Has Jinmu been in contenders just vibing out, or is he just back
No,
from?
he's been streaming.
the
But
dead?
he's been actively playing ranked and streaming though.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's not like some other players that like haven't played at all. Like Gaga didn't play at all. He didn't do shit.
yeah.
He just come back in.
Yeah, like, and they can play the Echo. I assume Jinmu knows how to play Echo as well. Like, he is the aerial
so
ace.
That's like the one good, because the one weird thing about the current meta is your Tracer player is also your Echo player, which means when you play Echo, your hit scan now has to play Tracer, which is a bit of a dying breed in the Overwatch League.
Yeah.
The one good thing about this is that Jinmu, he's got a good hero pool for both Sombra and Echo, so they don't have to do this uncomfortable swap thing. It works out. But then you have to play Jimmy Tracer, which doesn't feel as good. Honestly, if they keep Choi in and bench Jimmy, I think the team would be sick. Like Choi Tracer, Jinmu Sombra sounds really good.
I also just, like, I don't think you can understate, like, first of all, so many changes, so they have, like, no scrim experience. Like, oh, yeah, they have great players from the past, but also remember, like, this team has, you know, that's very demoralizing when everything that's happened has just, like, happened. Like, I think that's really going to hurt them as well, unless they just use this as an opportunity.
No coaches.
Yeah, no coaches.
I think, what's Yoshi doing? Yoshi was rumored to be maybe coaching.
Maybe he is, but
I could
yeah.
be talking out of my ass entirely, so that
All right.
might not be correct.
There we go. You got the 8-pack power rankings. Number 1, Seoul Inferno. Number 2, Hangzhou Spark. Number 3, Dallas Fuel. Number 4, Seoul Dynasty. Number 5, Shanghai Dragons. Number 6, Guangzhou Charge. Moving on to the 8-A rankings, because I have to go to the dentist in a while, and I'm kind of just dying inside just while we're doing this.
Do we swap Atlanta Houston? That's the question.
No,
That is the big question.
absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Okay, that's not the big question. We're swapping Florida and Glads at least.
Boston goes up.
At least.
At least,
At
yeah.
least.
Yeah. Florida goes there.
Boston at 4 after Florida.
You can throw
Atlanta,
Glads to the
Houston,
wayside for now.
Florida,
Throw Glads to the
Boston.
wayside.
Yeah,
Put Glad
keep-
somewhere else for now.
Unless you want to
We'll
go
come
one
back
by
to
one
it.
just for memes.
Put them with the
Just
Doritos
slowly
tier.
watch them plummet. Oh god.
Now it gets interesting.
Glads, no, sure.
Okay, tier break for sure.
Glads. Yeah, the whole tier. There we go.
Alright.
All right, there you go. And then who's number 5? Shock got beaten by Lona Spitfire.
Oh, it's Toronto now. I
Yeah,
think
they-
Toronto's pretty good now. Toronto
Toronto
better than
at number
Washington.
5.
Whoa.
Toronto at number 5.
What?
They
This
went
is number
5
5.
Masters, Vancouver Titans.
Well, who's
Leave it blank.
Yeah, I
Blank. That's
don't
what the
know
tier
who I
breaks
want to
for.
put 5, but I don't think it's Toronto, is it?
is it? I don't think it's Shock because they lost to London, right?
Bro,
Could it be-
Wikipedia's
is-
broken. I'm trying to
is it-
remember
Dude,
what the
everything's
fucking
broken.
map
It's so-
record
okay.
was.
Okay, so is it New-
Pick'ems don't
I'll
work.
give you 3 options. Is it New York, Toronto, or Vancouver? It's one of those 3, right? Surely.
Not New York.
So it's
Yeah, it
Yeah,
might
because
Toronto,
it's
be
not
New
the
York.
Gladiators.
You said it
Vancouver.
might be New York.
Vancouver.
Is it Vancouver or Toronto then? Out of those two?
Vancouver for sure. Vancouver.
Wait, do you think it's Vancouver?
No, what, Jack? You want the fucking
They got
goose?
beaten by Toronto even.
No, I don't. Oh, dude.
Yeah,
So
Vancouver
Toronto's
got beaten
fine
by
then.
Toronto and beaten by Vancouver. I
So
think
Toronto's
Vancouver's
fine.
in the ballpark, but
Bro, we're straying into APAC territory where every motherfucker's beating everybody. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't even, like, seriously,
There's-
below
it's
5?
Toronto
Okay,
fine.
well, I
okay,
don't know.
okay,
coin
all right,
flip.
all right. With that logic, I'm going Toronto Defiant because guess what? They're versatile. Spectra's amazing. Can play lots of different
Spectra is
heroes.
amazing.
They got Circuit Real on lock. They can play Reinhardt comps if they want to. They can play Echo, Tracer. Like, they got to figure it out.
I think it is
That's very
Toronto
fair.
because I was like, I feel
I
like
was
Toronto's
right.
been losing even after the rebuild, but I think you're absolutely right because like I'm looking at their record now. It was against their losses were against Boston and Atlanta, and then they beat Vancouver and Valiant. Like, and so they kind of have to be there. You could make an
Look at lads
argument
after
that New York is making a resurgence, but New York suffers from the same issue that they've played against good teams, so it's hard to really know where they stand in the mid-table.
I
said
will
Toronto-
say
I
I
said
would have
Toronto 5 and I'm
simmed out of
vindicated.
control for Shock, but Shock lost to London Spitfire, and they've also looked pretty meh in their wins. So it's
So,
just not there for the
Shock
Shock.
6 then, clearly.
No, I mean,
Vancouver 6.
I
Vancouver, maybe?
I kind of want to put Vancouver, New York, and then Shock. I feel like my years for Shock simping are coming to
Did you
an
put
end.
London below?
But Shock beat Washington, so do we need to keep Shock above? I think Shock may be above Washington.
I mean,
God, it's all a blur.
I wouldn't put New York at 7 either.
Shock at 7 then. Wait, but then London beat them.
Shock, then Washington.
How could it Washington?
Okay, so
No,
okay,
New York-
okay. London Spitfire Shock is this matchup, okay? Where like, yes, London beat San Francisco, but you're not immediately just like straight up a better team in my mind. Okay,
yeah,
like
that's
London now has the opportunity to really climb if they can replicate those results in the coming few weeks. And for San Francisco Shock, okay, you lost versus Ryan comps doesn't mean you're bad in dive
True,
mirrors.
that's true. So,
What about
sorry,
the
where's
Gladiators?
Washington? Where's Washington then?
I don't know
I'm
what's going on with
confused.
the Gladiators, man.
Because do you do Shock Washington London or Shock London Washington or
Glads are still good, man. Glads are still good. They're 8th for sure. If we're putting Shock there, Glads
They
go
lost to
8th
the
for sure.
Valiant and the Shock. Well,
Yeah, that's
in,
rough, man.
in the
But
opening
you know
weekend,
what?
like-
Don't matter.
But
That 5 banger was sick.
I think New
You-
York are better than we're giving them credit for. I think they're actually.
Put them under.
Yeah, they
Glads.
are, but like they don't have the wins, you know. They don't have the
They beat Vegas and they beat London.
wow.
What?
Wait, you say wow, but the fucking San Francisco Shock didn't beat London? Like, what the fuck? But okay, that was also when London. That's when London were playing the fucking ass shit, and they looked awful.
Yeah, they got bopped.
And then New York lost to Houston and Florida this weekend. So it's like,
Look, I'm willing to move Shock down as in like you guys are shit. You lost to London kind of thing. If you'd rather like put Glads at 7 or something.
I want to put New York at 7.
Oh, he really wants to put New York at 7.
New York
like,
has
That's
climbed
tough.
a lot. If they're at 7, that's a big climb.
If Shock New York played at this
Yeah,
hour,
that's a good question. That's a good question.
I feel like, New York's had a hard few years. I think we should give them a lifeline. Like,
oh,
hey, Shock
sympathy
Shock and
ranking.
Glads, they've been in the driver's seat for too damn long. They're fucking fumbling.
I don't do pity rankings.
Topple
no.
them down.
No pity
What do
rankings.
you mean pity rankings? If we're putting too much credit on Shock and Gladiators because of their past,
Who wins? New York or Shock? They play a BO5
Shock.
right now. Who wins?
Shock 3-0'd Glads and Shock beat Washington 3-2. Yes, they lost to London, but like
I think
they're
Shock
not
beat New York.
awful.
If they play right now, they beat New York.
Yeah, 100%.
not
Why is
100%.
this-
Not
why is-
100%. Not
Why is this
100%.
even a debate?
Did we just like close our eyes for the entire London match? Like, I understand they were playing against weird shit, but like the way that they did that was awful.
You had the exact opposite argument when I was talking about fucking London. No, dude. It's fucking Shock, and then it's New York, and then it should be Glads, and then Washington and London. Like it was a little bit of a freakish moment.
Okay, all right. Well, okay, I'm about to say something that's gonna blow up the rankings too. New York beat
God.
London 3-0, but New York would have lost to London if it was London playing Reinhardt.
We
Yeah.
don't know that. That's pure
But that's my opinion.
speculation.
That's why it's an opinion. It's not a fact.
Well,
it's an
you said it
opinion.
was gonna blow it up. up. Okay, here's the thing. I don't. Maybe you might be right. We don't know. Like New York are an enigma because they've come and gone, and we don't really like know how they stand because they just got beaten by two good teams. But my heart of heart has a belief in New York, and.
Is this your new Guangzhou Charge? Is New York your new Guangzhou Charge?
I'm starting to see. I'm waking up from my shot-pilled coma. You know, like I've been like thinking about like, you know, Proper's the GOAT, Krusty's so smart, and I'm starting to wake up, and the fog is starting to clear, and I'm starting to see what the fans are seeing. And maybe we're a little shock-pilled here, and we're giving too much credit to the past.
I don't think anyone's talking
I'm
about
here
past.
for
I think
it.
we're talking about this
Okay.
week.
You can't stop convince me.
And then I can piss on. Then if I'm not right, then San Francisco Shock and Dallas fans
What
can
the
hate
fuck
me.
is What the fuck? Hang on a second.
Do you think New York beats Shock if they played right now?
Yes.
Ooh.
He's trolling. Did you not hear that inflection on his voice? Bro's fucking hard.
No, yeah, like okay. I think it'd be a close match,
first before they
but I think if San Francisco play fucking straight up against New York, I think they would probably win. But I think they're gonna come out and be like, you know what we should play? Proper with a mercy pocket. And then New York's going to be like, okay, and just fucking take a huge poo on them because that's all San Francisco Shock seem to do is proper go kill. And I think that's going to hurt them against better
He's actually
teams.
taking the Yu-Gi-Oh narrative, bro. So
What do you-
underpowered, but he pulls the card at the right time. The perfect top deck. Like, actually. It makes no sense, bro.
What do you
Pegasus
mean?
should have wiped the floor with Yugi. Look, Blue Eyes White Dragon, 3,000 power level. You've only got 2,000 life. You didn't need to sack two monsters. You put it directly on the field. You cheated. Pegasus would wipe the floor with
This
Yugi
analogy's
in a
going somewhere.
regular game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Which, look, at the end of the day, you know, sometimes you have the overpowered tool, the Blue Eyes White Dragon, or proper, in this instance, on the San
Yeah,
Francisco
Blue Eyes
Shock.
White Dragon just lost the pot of greed of the London Spitfire who just kept
Pot of
playing
Greed's gone.
Reinhardt
Pot
at
of
him,
Greed's
bro.
a banned card. It's a banned card, man.
Like,
You can't have that in any deck.
the San Francisco Shock are have been hard fumbling. Yeah, they had that one opening weekend where they beat the Gladiators, but guess what? The Gladiators also suck right now. I feel like the only props we're giving the Shock is that they beat the Gladiators, but maybe the realism is that they both suck.
I don't
They beat
think
Washington too.
Losing to London
Okay,
wasn't
Washington.
that bad.
I'm just gonna piss off all the teams. Washington also sucks. They can go in the, in the group of suck. I don't know. I'm dying on this hill. I feel like I want to give New York the props they deserve.
What's the vote? We have a split vote decision here. What's going on? I think Jack and I.
You know, as the podcast that ranked Shock the #1 team going into the season, you know, I'm kind of over it too. Fuck it. Let's put New York at number 7.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for us putting Shock high last time, so screw it. There we go.
Okay.
It's only 2-2 though. What's all right.
Now
Okay,
what?
That's fine. You know what? That's fine.
Now what?
He's the
Now.
host.
Lead us,
now.
Scott. Lead us. We're in
All
this
right.
jungle.
All
We're
right,
in
hear
this
me out.
jungle, and you're leading us astray. Where are we going?
Shock goes next.
8?
8. And then we put.
Where's London in this?
Oh God, how? I think.
Are you lost? Are you leading us astray?
No, I know. I'm very confident in the direction that we're going right now. Just
Okay,
give me
all right.
1
Where-
second while I
okay.
look at my map.
This
Okay.
guy doesn't even know about aliens. I don't trust him.
Okay, then it goes Gladiators, then Washington, and then London. I am not
London
going
at
to give
11.
London this credit for playing Reinhardt and having a 2-0 weekend.
London 11.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work long term. I think my power rankings are based on do I think they're good? Do you think
Why are you
London is a
shitting
good
on
team?
Shock then? Why are
Didn't you
shitting
say
on
the
Shock?
opposite 5 minutes ago?
No, absolutely not.
You just said London is still not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Then why are you penalizing Shock for it?
What do you mean? Because I
The
think
Shock
Shock,
lost to
if they
this.
play straight up, will be good. The reason I have Shock higher,
Why do you
I
assume they won't play straight up versus New York? I don't know. It's just a weird line of logic.
No, so London, if they actually play straight up and if they actually get into a position that they need to make it through the playoffs or they actually have to play against better teams who know what they're going to play, I think they're going to fall flat. I think San Francisco also are going to suffer from the same issue because they hate to play straight up. If they played straight up, I would put them further up the rankings, but they're not going to because they just
they
keep
play
putting
more?
proper pill shit.
Don't they put more? They play more straight up than not straight up.
Who, for Shock?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still don't, that's still not enough.
They
They're still, they lost to London. What are we talking about here? They lost to London.
But you're shitting on London now. But you just
Exactly.
shit on
So
London
Shock
2 minutes
and
ago.
London both suck equally. That's the
Okay.
point.
Do you think Gladiators and Washington should be above Shock?
Sorry, what?
Does Glads and Washington
Shock
deserve
beat
to be
Glads.
above Shock?
No,
Well, Shock
no.
beat Glads 3-0.
No, yeah. Shock
Yeah,
beat Glads
And they
3-0.
beat Washington.
And
they
they
beat
lost
Wash-
to Valiant.
This is good. This is good. I've just decided that I'm just gonna go full send with whatever the fuck my brain sends to it.
One
Are
last
we New
thing.
York fans now? Are we New York fans?
I'm a New York fan. We're going all.
One
Alright.
last thing. What's the tier break between Valiant and Vegas? Does that still need to be there? I think that maybe needs to go. No? I think Vegas are catching up.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, Vegas. You've been promoted.
We can't move them up until they win a game, though. You know that
That's
feels.
But right now, we can at least remove a tier break. That's the
Yeah.
nicest
They look
thing.
good enough.
Congratulations, guys! You did it. Well, honestly, they haven't moved in our power rankings for the last like 6 months, but they are actually getting progressively better week on week because we used to have like
They
3
are.
tier breaks and like 3
Yeah.
spots below. So they are actually making progress.
They're above
Alright.
Chengdu now.
That's
There you go.
crazy.
Okay.
Sorry, I had water. Good one, Solomon. Let's get into predictions then. We got 6 matches this week, and this will just add further insight into how we truly rate these teams. I can't even remember what I predicted, so I'm in for a surprise too. It's going to be great,
Canada,
guys.
I'm worried.
I don't know if we have the statistics on hand because we kind of lost those in translation, I think, at some point, but it's all good. Do you just want to jump into the predictions here, Solomon? Oh, there you go. AVRL, 18-8. Custa, 22-10. Jeez, I'm not even going to say
Have I
mine.
missed that many power rankings?
I missed a few. I don't know. Or
Jesus.
predictions,
What's Connor up
I
to? What's
guess.
the Avast on?
I don't know. Who knows? But I think,
I've never done this podcast.
yeah, AVRL and Custa about tied. Well, looking good, fellas. All right, let's get into the predictions then. The first one. Oh, there you go.
Nice.
69%.
Actually,
Nice.
nice.
Hey,
Good
nice.
job.
Nice, Avril.
Yeah, AVRL and Custa. Good
Now
job.
we have to stay perfectly balanced at 69% for the rest of the season.
Let's see what we get here.
I don't even know how the fuck you do that. All right, LA Gladiators versus Lone Spitfire.
Oh my god.
I mean,
AVRL with
that's
the
the
solo
clout-
Spitfire
Wait,
pick.
hang on.
The
I
clout
gotta
bread.
check with. Let me just check with. Okay, apparently I did lock it in for London. I said to check. Okay. No, but like I think London keep running the Rhine stuff, and I think Gladiators are a struggling enough team that they might fall prey to it. Like I don't know if I am fully sold on what's happening within the roster right now. They're shifting things around. Cal's being added. Possibly Lastro's gone. This team has not been on form for this stage so far, and I think London are on track to continue their journey forward. I think this is more about me not believing Glands than it is about me like fully backing London. But I do think London is on an upswing personally.
Not
This-
convincing enough, AVRL. I'm sorry.
I'm
This
not
is
that
me
convinced
putting
either.
faith
This was
in the coaches
this
to
is
work out what the fuck they should do.
I'm not even extremely convinced myself. That's why I did double check that this is absolutely what I sent to Solomon, and it was. So there it is.
It is
Is
a good.
Gladiators
It's a good
fumble
clout
this?
pick. Sorry.
This
This,
Clout pick,
this,
yeah.
this is a pick that like if I get it right though, this is gonna shoot me up the
Yeah,
rank.
it's
one of those
sick.
picks.
It's a sick
Yeah.
bread. Yeah.
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 I think this would say a lot about the Gladiators for the rest of the season if they lose this match. Like, I think this is a very telling match if they can't work this out and like execute, because they should be like they have the talent on this roster
On paper,
and
yes, yeah.
plenty of foresight of like what London are going to throw at you. I really hope that they work this out and that they can even if they lose, like at least make it competitive and come out with a good idea. Like. Because I don't know what the map pool is. I think the map pool might be a big factor of this series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't know
absolutely.
either. I couldn't check. I
100%.
had no
Yeah.
info on that, so I'm guessing.
I mean, if you get Gibraltar or Dorado, like, let's see what they can do in that.
That's fine. You just see
Let's,
Kevstar and Junkrat. That's fine.
Yeah. On to the next one. We got a hard hitting one. It's a big one. We got a big
Hard-hitting.
one. Atlanta
the
Rain
clout,
versus the
Brett?
Florida Mayhem,
I
Where's the
wonder.
clout?
and it's all Atlanta Rain. But
I
Florida Mayhem,
wonder.
do they have a chance?
Decent chance, I think.
What would you give them? How much would
Oh,
how
my
much of a
face.
percentage would you give Florida
What
Mayhem?
happened to my eyeball?
What is this photo? Whoa. Scott's in a different fucking dimension.
He's looking at the freeze pipe. Hey,
Hey,
there you go.
stop
Hey,
it.
woo, yay! There you go. Esports, 10% off free shipping.
I love that it slides in.
Yeah. What percentage would you give Florida Mayhem here? 25%? 20%?
30%.
I would go
Atlanta
like
aren't infallible. 40.
30.
30%? One in every 3
line.
matches, Florida wins.
All right, this is going to feel like
Slightly
another
lower than 1-3.
scapegoat answer, but I think it's going to come down to what the map pool is. If it's a Sombra Tracer heavy map pool where I don't feel like Merritt can play comfortable on his heroes, and like we don't get to see the flexibility from Florida, then I think they're just going to lose because they can't match in Sombra Tracer.
What maps are not Sombra Tracer? They're pretty much all Sombra Tracer.
A lot of the escort aren't Sombra Tracer. There are
Circuit's not. You're right. Circuit is not really, but
yeah, and I think Colosseo's not a great Sombra Tracer out of all of them. I think if you're going to play anything else on push, that it's going to be on that map. There's also like Lijiang Tower is very heavily brawl style.
if you go to Circuit, I think you go Lip Widowmaker, Stalker, either Sojin or Hanzo.
Well, they played
play Sigma.
They
That's
played the
still pretty
Briggs and
fucking
Stalker Genji shit, and it looked really good against Toronto. They just didn't know how to defend. That was the 7-6
sick.
matchup.
I
with
think
Atlanta.
even map pool, I still give it to Atlanta, even if it's not a quote unquote favorable Tracer Sombra map pool. I think it's still very Atlanta favored.
Yeah, I think Atlanta is still the better team.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, though. That Circuit Real really made things really interesting versus Toronto Defiant.
Yeah.
Like, every time I watch Atlanta Reign play Circuit Real now, I'm, like, watching with anticipation. Because it's such a deviation from what they're, like, really good at with Sombra Tracer. And that's not to say they're not good at it. Obviously, they're still a fantastic Circuit Real teams. But it gives teams, you know, like the Florida Mayhem or what have you, Toronto Defiant in that case, a chance to actually take a map from the Atlanta Reign in that map pool. All
I
right.
like the map.
We got 2 more exciting matches coming your way. These are real exciting matches, guys. Vegas Eternal versus the LA Valiant. Is anyone committing? Oh, we got 2! Custa and AVRL!
Let's go, AVRL.
69,
Vegas pick.
baby. 69.
I couldn't get there, guys.
I can't believe Scott didn't even believe in the Valiant. He's given up. He's not part of the Weir 7. You are clearly not part of the 7 anymore.
No, I am not. I right around when they made their like first move like across the pond and they went to the Eastern region, I couldn't stay like
were no longer
Payson Day. I
7.
couldn't stay strong. I had to move on. But I don't know, like Valiant got their win. They're playing well. Seeker hit scan absolutely nuts. But if Vegas can actually play the dive and they play it well, and maybe the addition of Finale also like aids that as well, and Knife plays even somewhat of a smidge close to what he did, like they're gonna find the win.
No.
Valiant have no flexibility. Like they really look quite poor in the dive against most teams, and I think Vegas are improving a lot. Plus, I just want to see it. I think it'll be great bands.
Right.
I think this is a really good.
Valiant just roll though. I think
Vegas are an upswing here, so I think they're due for their win.
actual ping diff.
Solomon, I put a photo in the Discord real quick, Solomon. I don't know if I should put it in the document. What do you think about my take on broadcast? That Vegas orange is actually like the best color pattern out of all the Overwatch League.
I agree.
This orange is amazing. I love this orange. Like if Vegas was a top seeded team, I would buy all their skins. I'd be fucking all in.
Compare the orange to Shock. It looks really similar.
I
know this is
Fusion
a much darker orange.
yeah, it's darker, a bit more
Fusion's orange pretty
brownish.
similar?
I love this color.
Their skins look
It's good,
sick
though.
in game as well. Like I think they're my favorite skin line in the game in terms of like the colorway.
Yeah. It sucks that the team is such a meme. Really. No. I hate it. But I love the color. Good color, guys. You got that going for you. Turkey, Norway? All right. We can root for Norway. Didn't they beat Sweden? So yeah, I got a new country now, I guess. There you go. We got another one. Sweden, Saudi Arabia. Jesus Christ. Solomon! You're fired! No. I'm kidding, sorry. I'm joking.
World Cup home skins.
Moving on to the next one. We got another Vegas Eternal match. Just want to see where people go on this one. Anyone going for Vegas?
You guys
Custa with Vegas again.
believe. Oh my god.
You think Vegas will beat London
I'm
Spitfire?
Vegas pilled. I'm New York pilled. I've just
God.
at this point, it's our last year. Fuck it. Just full send. Just hope for the best. Expect the worst. I don't know. Like I'm also a big doubter of we've seen this story before where London, they do it for like 1 week. Everyone gets super excited that it worked, and then everyone instantly starts countering it, and then it's like 2 weeks before everyone calls London like, oh my god, why would they just keep playing Reinhardt? Why don't they go back and play Dive on Dorado? It's so bad. Like,
If you think about what I've just done in the Preds, here's what I've done. It makes no sense. I just said London would beat the Glads, but now I'm saying they'll lose to Vegas. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm like semi-committing to London, but then I'm like, not really. I still think Vegas, I'm like kind of Vegas pill as well. I'm on the knife train.
yeah,
I'm
dude,
hopping
Knife
on that
is
knife train.
sick.
Knife was so
He's
much fun to
good,
watch.
but London funny comp.
Also ping. If you gotta play against Ryan Combs on ping, good luck.
Oh, you're gonna die so fast.
Yeah, I'm not confident on this one, but I have a feeling. I'm vibe checking it, and the vibes feel good.
Vibes are good. All right.
Vegas vibe.
All right. There we go. All right, moving over. We got 69%. We got, oh my god, you're right. AVRL and Custa both on Vegas games. And they are the highest pick rate. Oh, this is terrible sign. Terrible sign. Moving on, we got 2 APAC matches here. Soul Infernal against Dallas Fuel. Oh, is anyone going Dallas Fuel? Oh, Jaws and Custa going with Dallas Fuel over Soul Infernal.
Come on.
I'll never vote
did
against
I?
the Fuel, man.
Wait, Solomon. Yo, wait, what? I don't.
Custa, the former Dallas Fuel player?
You're not going with Fuel for this
Definitely
game?
did write Dallas Fuel. Yeah, no, Dallas, they're sick. They're gonna be great. Jack, defend us. I got nothing.
Dallas Fuel, bro. They're coming back. They're coming back, dude. I got a message from Tasmo the other day. He was like, yo, you seen Desert Treasure 2 just release an old school RuneScape? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, looks like Dallas Fuel are winning, baby. Looks like Dallas Fuel are winning. Tasmo's on the RuneScape grind. He didn't actually mention me that. I wish he did.
A little meta comment now for the society. If someone ever about anything says that something is back, it's most definitely not back, and it's probably not coming back. Like, the meaning of it's back has just lost its meaning entirely. Nothing is ever coming back, guys. It's all copium. Stop saying stuff is back.
Oh, bro.
I want to remind you guys.
This is I can't defend the pred. Like this is just straight up some like Dallas fuel like copium shit. Like Dallas look good, but Soul Infernal have been by far the best team in the East, and like they haven't really stumbled at all except for the midseason madness. So
Mag's got COVID.
yeah, Mag's got COVID. Never mind. Mag has never had a flu game in his life. Never mind.
Exactly.
Dallas
Dude,
Fuel
I'm
gonna
just
win.
saying, Dallas Fuel will eventually get back to being great. And
They
the run
beat
starts
Dallas last year on COVID. They had COVID last year versus Dallas, and they beat them as well.
Shit, he's going.
now. But only one person has COVID this time.
Yeah, but Mag wasn't there when they won with COVID.
That's true.
See,
So,
this
I just want to
a
remind
Mag
you
thing.
guys, Johnny and I clearly remember this, but we ranked Infernal #1 APAC with a tier break. With a tier break.
Yeah. No, that's 100% the responsible thing to do as well.
Also, Jaws, I don't want to add to your existential dread, but there is in fact a case where the Dallas Fuel actually never actually gets back ever, and they peaked and never ever get back. So I'm just
There's
saying,
no way.
that there is.
That's never happened to a championship team ever. I don't think a championship team has ever been mid-table in the rankings that hasn't sprung back.
There's a chance that Dallas Fuel might never be great again ever,
No.
and this is it.
I was about to start getting death
My boy
threats.
Sparkle got me, don't I?
Hang to a spark against the Shanghai Dragons for our last pred
I think I
of the
trolled
week.
this
Did
one.
anyone go with the Shanghai Dragons here? Nope, we all went to the Hang to a Spark.
Jaws did
All
not
right.
troll.
I did
Jaws
not
did
No
not troll.
trolling. There you go. Oh, I guarantee. You know what? These preds, really good, because we're all like pretty different.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you,
I feel
Custa, for
like-
putting yourself on the line.
Yeah, no, I felt like I was just going to fall on the sword for this one. I feel like we just need to make it more interesting. So, fuck it. Let's go Vegas. I am disappointed. This is actually fucking crazy. So, we have 2 winnable games for the Vegas Eternal, right? We've been here for so long. Jack and I have been through the gauntlet of Vegas Eternal games this year. The weekend that Vegas plays London and Valiant, we're on APAC.
I know,
We're not
that's
casting
a
any Western
crime.
games. They didn't even want us near them. Like that's fucked up. I want that to be
the
known. That's
biggest
fucked
joke
up.
is that they improved their team and then we got shifted.
Yeah.
Like, I was complaining at the beginning of the year because I looked at the schedule. I'm like, Scott, by the way, we have every single one of those games, right? I'm like, maybe the team can be pretty good. And then obviously the first few weeks we got in and we were like, oh, this team's not that great. Yeah, good stuff.
So
Good
I did
times,
see.
man.
I think Matt screwed you guys.
Yeah,
You
true.
did, yeah.
I see why you're not casting the Vegas games. I did see see our producer in the chat. So maybe this was a bit of a plea, but if it is what I think it is, then yeah, I don't think there's any way you guys will be casting
Oh
the
no,
Vegas games.
it was not intentional of like get him out of here. I'm just fucking with him.
I want to say that if it wasn't for the fact that I also went in Vegas a couple of times, this would be a full Looney Tunes week for Scott with his breads. This would have been the full off the goop episode with Scott Spreads if it wasn't for the fact that I backed him on Vegas.
Yeah, that's true. You could have taken a clear lead in percentage, but instead you joined me on the fucking off the goop train. Honestly, if we nail all these Vegas spreads and they go 2-0 this weekend, we're
That's
gonna look
true.
like geniuses.
That's 100%.
I will actually say, if Vegas go 2-0, they might be back. I will grant them the might be back.
Might be back status.
Yeah, might be back status, yeah.
Okay.
Even though 5 minutes ago I said that nothing ever comes back. Vegas might be back if they go 2-0. There we go. All right, that does it. We just have Brent's Player of the Week left for a pretty solid episode. I thought we had some fun segments. I enjoyed Reddit stuff, even though Custa looked like he was just incredibly depressed throughout the entire segment.
I got a nominee.
Yeah, go ahead.
My ones are always quality. You know how it is. My nominee for Brent's Player of the Week is the entire UFO community.
The scientific community.
No, not
That's
the scientific
facts.
community.
Not the
UFO
scientific
community.
community. Okay.
Different.
Can I veto a Britain's Player of the Week?
You can give
Yes.
a nominee. You can't
Yes,
veto. You can
you
give
might
a nominee.
actually. You might actually.
There has to be. Let's give it to.
Guangzhou Charge.
Because like nothing really, I mean, nothing hardy, like nothing really, like no newsworthy, no individual achievement this past week really.
Give it to Bob Lazar and let's move on.
Chat is struggling to find like
Bob
even
Lazar.
a candidate here. Avast for doing a APAC co-stream. I
Come on,
don't
he
think
gets
so.
he gets an award just for a co-stream. No way. Come on.
Knife for almost winning a game? No, I mean, come on,
No.
this is not.
Okay.
Is this the first week we're not doing a Brand's Player of the Week? How
I
about that
hope-
for?
When the
Do it,
UFO
Propper's
community
Junkrat.
or the
Propper's
UAF
Junkrat.
community.
Oh!
Wait, Johnny, save me. I was going to defend them, but yeah, he saved me.
Defend us. Defend us.
It's obviously the shoe calling out Jake clip on Watchpoint. Where you might not have seen this because
I don't know if I saw this.
Watchpoint.
Yeah.
Is this the end of
But-
show?
Yeah,
I don't
the end of the
yeah,
show.
I think I missed that.
So, I need to find this timestamp now. It's after the Atlanta Rain with Houston Outlaws. Great to know that you guys watch our show, by the way. I really appreciate it. Thank you, coworkers.
Well, we don't have sound. We don't hear interviews.
Oh yeah, that's might be true. I'm joking. But it's somewhere here. And after the match between the Atlanta Rain and the Houston Outlaws, I got the timestamp. I found it, Tom. It's right here. I put it in the Discord. So we all of the desk predicted the Atlanta Rain to obviously beat the Houston Outlaws, because who wouldn't predict the Atlanta Rain to beat the Houston Outlaws?
True.
And so then Houston Outlaws win 3-2 fashion. Danny speaks to Shu. Shu is the candidate for player interview, whatever. And then at the end of this interview, you keep playing it out because it keeps going for a while. The exact timestamp is like 6:21:40. 6:21:40. So Shu says after the interview, wait a minute, I have something to say. And we all think, okay, it's going to be like thanking the fans or something. It's going to, thank you so much for supporting us, whatever. And it says, Jake, we watched before the match and we saw that you didn't predict the Houston Outlaws. And we are incredibly disappointed at you, Jake, for not predicting the Houston Outlaws. Like it was almost like they were upset at the fact that Jake didn't stand by them, and he actually predicted the Atlanta Rain to beat the Houston Outlaws.
Yeah.
And so Shu calls him over and gets Jake to apologize, and then they joke about. But then at the end of this interview, just a few seconds after, like Shu actually like shoos Jake away and gets Jake to like bow down to Shu, like gets Jake to just like formally apologize in a very superior manner. It was one of the funniest things I've seen on Watchpoint in years. I kid you not. Like it was just straight up hilarious. Because both Danny and Jake, they're standing by the monitor, just like apologizing for predicting the Atlanta Rain. We're losing it. I'm losing it. Zoe is absolutely losing it at the desk because it's really funny. And he shoots him away, and they're just standing there bowing down. Sorry, we predicted the Atlanta Rain. Sorry, very sorry. Yeah, yep. Fuck off.
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny.
That
really
is
good.
That is good.
Yeah. So Shu,
That's a good one. Shu,
Brand's
everybody.
Player of the Week, Shu, in my opinion.
I'm down for the shoot. That's fun. We need more player banter.
It was a really fun call out.
I got one more nominee. Platts for his Oscar-worthy acting.
I'm sorry I couldn't get the sound, YouTube chat. YouTube chat, always bitching, no sound or whatever. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I couldn't get it sorted. I don't know, maybe Solomon could have played it.
Oh, yeah, we had sound, Johnny.
Oh, yeah, sound. Okay, well, I didn't have sound. Oh, that's why I talked over it, because I didn't hear the sound. Jesus Christ, I ruined everything. All right, that's the episode. I'm sorry, I ruined it, chat. Oh well, we'll get Jack to host next week or something. I don't fucking know.
Have fun at the dentist,
Thank you.
Johnny.
PLATCHAT over 187. I'll turn on my headset next time. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, chat. I disappointed you. I appreciate you guys being here. I had fun nonetheless. I'm gonna go to the dentist. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Yo, goodbye.